Emirates F.A Cup tie between a rising star in Wrexham and a Premier League club with unquestionable ambition, Nottingham Forest. This famous old competition has provided the perfect backdrop to the hosts' stunning renaissance. In 2023, the new Hollywood owner's intent was illustrated perfectly as the then non-league Red Dragons beat Coventry City 4-3 away before pushing Sheffield Wednesday all the way in a 3-3 draw. The spotlight certainly hasn't dimmed. This is a club relishing the limelight, and an FA Cup run is always a desired storyline. Forest have also enjoyed their own high-profile ascent. The run to last season's semi-finals was just part of an incredible campaign that saw them qualify for European competition for the first time since 1996. Both clubs are flush with investment and hope. We've got all the ingredients for a cracking game tonight. The racecourse will be rocking. Well, an FA Cup winner with Chelsea. Scott Minto's alongside me tonight. It's been some rise for Wrexham, hasn't it? They were still outside the Football League only 3 years ago, yet here they are, just a point from the playoffs in the Championship and with a Premier League scalp in their sights.
Absolutely, Simon. Good evening. And what a game, what a tie we've got ahead of us here. When you think about where they were just 3 years ago, and now they do have a possible Premier League scalp. And not only that, the way they're playing at the moment, who knows, they could be playing Premier League sides week in, week out next season. Absolutely.
Let's take a look at a few of the key players to keep an eye on in the home side tonight, starting with the fullback Liberato Kakache.
Yeah, look, he's a New Zealand international. He's not played too many games, mainly because he's been injured. But what he does have, he's got a very, very good left foot. 3 years at Italian side Empoli. And Phil Parkins will be saying, you try and get as many crosses in from the left as possible.
Striker Sam Smith has spent much of the season coming off the bench, but he has been taking his opportunities recently, and he gets another one tonight.
Yes, I mean, what a great opportunity, what a chance to really make your name. And you're right, he hasn't really played too many games due to Kiefer Moore playing, but with his injury, and especially over Christmas, he has done exceptionally well. What a night to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, Nathan Broadhead, another one of the big names in the Wrexham side, a Wales international. 9 goal involvements this season, scoring half a dozen. Important role for him tonight.
Yeah, it is. He's going to be one of the 2 number 10s. I mean, he actually came through the ranks at Everton, and Carlo Ancelotti gave him a contract extension. So clearly he rated him very highly. Really hit by a lot of injuries, but made his name as Ipswich. Again, can make a big name this evening.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Wrexham sit 9th in the Championship, a point from the playoff positions. Their best FA Cup years have taken them into the last 8 on 3 separate occasions. Last season's run ended at the first hurdle on the end of an upset themselves at the hands of Harrogate Town, and they've won each of their last 4 league matches in the Championship, so current form is excellent. Well, the draw has given the Tricky Trees a tricky trip to Wales as Sean Dyche looks to navigate a path to the 4th round with a second win of the week on the back of their much-needed Tuesday night success at West Ham. He'll be dipping into the squad for this one, though.
He certainly will. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's all about the Premier League and survival. I mean, they didn't play well on Tuesday, but boy, was that a massive win at the London Stadium. And yes, he's made changes, not surprised at all. They'll need to be careful. The mentality's not right, Simon. They will get hurt tonight.
Well, it's a big night for some of the Forest players, among them Igor Jesus, who's one of the few started at West Ham and also does so this evening. Yeah,
I'm not surprised he's starting, actually, because it's not been a great start to his Forest career, really. Just 1 goal in 20 appearances. On paper, this should be a possibility for him to get goals. But again, Wrexham away, the way they're playing at the moment, this will not be easy for him.
Well, there's James McAtee, who they signed from Manchester City to great fanfare last summer, but yet to really make his mark at all.
Yeah, almost £30 million spent on him, and there's no doubt about it, he's got a massive, massive talent. I mean, you don't go through the ranks at Manchester City without that, but yet to make a real impact yet for Forest.
And Alexander Zinchenko on loan from Arsenal starts at left-back tonight. Only 2 appearances since mid-October for him. One of a completely changed back 4 for this one.
But I think he's very important in terms of the experience that he's got and the way that he can calm things down. I think he's very good on the ball and actually is instinct-wise a midfielder, but he can be hurt in a one-on-one situation.
Well, Nottingham Forest sit just 1 place above the relegation zone in the Premier League, but boosted no end by their 2-1 win at West Ham on Tuesday night at the London Stadium, opening up a 7-point gap. They're 2-time FA Cup winners, most recently in 1959 over Luton Town. Last season they reached Wembley, losing the semi-final 2-0 to Manchester City, and Tuesday's win in London ended a run of 4 straight defeats. Intriguing match, tough one to call actually, this one.
Do you know what? It's a really tough one to call. I mean, I love the third round of the FA Cup, Simon. I really do. And for me, and I've been on both sides of it, playing for a smaller team against the big boys, but also being in their big team going to a smaller side. And let me tell you, for me, it's all about mentality. I believe the smaller side, i.e. Wrexham, should really be going at Forest in the first 10-15 minutes.
Well, Wrexham haven't lost at home since September. The racecourse ground absolutely rocking for this one. There's precisely the sort of occasion that they have been looking forward to, the opportunity to test themselves against a team from the Premier League elite. And here they come. There'll be some atmosphere tonight. Wrexham's rise has been exciting and headline grabbing. This is just the sort of match they crave, the chance to go head to head with Premier League opposition, which they hope may become the norm in this corner of North Wales in the not too distant future. For now though, it's a one-off game in the oldest competition of them all, and a chance to further enhance their burgeoning reputation. Nottingham Forest reached the last four last season and would obviously love to go one better this year, but they've got more than half an eye on Premier League survival this time round. Tuesday's win at West Ham has provided a 7-point cushion to ease stress levels by the Trent. Victory tonight would further boost morale for the games that lie ahead. It's going to be a tough test for Sean Dyche and his team this evening.
Again, I think it's all about mentality. And yes, Forest have the more talented players, but I just feel the way Wrexham are playing at the moment, even though changes have been made, you know, their formation, I love the fact that the wing-backs try and get as forward as possible, get as many crosses in the box. In many ways, you'd want Kiefer Moore to be playing, but as I say, Sam Smith has been a very good deputy, and there's nothing like making a name for yourself against the big boys. And the owners, the Hollywood guys, the Razzmatazz, they're here, they're ready for this game, and they will be hoping for a Premier League scalp.
Let's take a look at the lineups. Wrexham are on a 4-match winning run. They make 4 changes tonight. Dan Scarr comes into central defence. There are starts too for the New Zealand international Liberato Kakache, and both George Dobson and Oliver Rathbone in midfield. Wales international Nathan Broadhead features on the left-hand side. He's chipped in with half a dozen goals, while striker Sam Smith has scored in each of the last 2 matches. Well, as expected, there are plenty of changes from Tuesday in the Forest lineup. Only goalkeeper Matt Sells, Amari Hutchinson and Igor Jesus stay in the starting 11. The whole of the back 4 changes, with Jer Cunha making only his 3rd appearance. James McAtee and Douglas Luiz hope to kick-start their seasons in midfield. And Dan Ndoye returns after missing the last 5 matches in the Premier League. Teams gathering either side of the centre circle. Paul Tierney, by the way, is the referee for this evening's match. He's taken charge of games in all 4 divisions of the league already this season. It's been a while since these 2 clubs have gone head-to-head, not since a League Cup tie back in 1993. That went to a replay which Forest won. There'll be no replay tonight. If they're level after 90 minutes, it's 30 minutes of extra time. And if they still can't be separated, we will go to the drama of penalty kicks. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, I was going to say, Simon, you know, we said this could be close. We could be in for a very long evening.
But there's no VAR tonight, just to reiterate that. We have our officials on the field, and we have Stuart Atwell as the 4th official. And between them, they will decide what happens. There will be no referring to the VAR hub. So final check of the watch for Paul Tierney, almost ready to go. The Emirates F.A Cup, 3rd round, about to get underway. One of the landmark weekends of the English football season. And it starts in North Wales with Wrexham upwardly mobile and gunning for glory in the Cup. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, the primary owners, what a job they've done, and what a job their team and everybody in the town has done. to bring Wrexham from the National League all the way through to the Championship, and who knows, potentially challenging for a place in the Premier League. But for now, the aim for them is a place in the 4th round of the F.A Cup, and Wrexham get the game underway. Nottingham Forest as the Premier League side, the team to be aimed at this evening. It's going to be a tough old test here for Forest. Forest, last season's semi-finalists. Forest playing in their change strip, kicking from left to right in the first half. Early ball away off the boot of Callum Doyle. Met by the head of Jair Cunha, the young Brazilian defender, alongside Morato in the heart of the defence. It's a rare rest for Nikola Milenkovic and Murillo tonight. Also Nico Williams, who was born in Wrexham, I'm sure would love to have played tonight, but he is named among the substitutes.
I mean, in a way, it's a compliment that Sean Dyche thinks that, as much as, of course, he wants to win this game and go through to the 4th round of the F.A Cup, that the Premier League is more important. But if I'm Nico Williams, I'm actually knocking on the door and saying, please, can I play in this one? I really want to be here. Interesting, he's gone for both centre-backs as well, his first choice, sitting on the bench rather than being out there. So, again, it's all about attitude. If I were Wrexham, I'd be right in the faces of Nottingham Forest, and especially those two centre-halves, and see if they can handle it from a physical and a mental point of view. This is what Championship football is all about. Let's play at the pace you're not normally used to.
All played infield by Dan and Doy. Zinchenko rolling it forward. Early attack here for Forest, and flicked over the top of the crossbar by Jesus.
It's a good start for the away side, isn't it? And the way they went from right to left, and Wrexham nowhere near them. Good cross in, good cut back. And you can see Igor Jesus, he couldn't quite move his feet quick enough. It was just a little bit behind him, and on his left foot, he's trying to do the little shuffle, the quick feet, but he's not able to keep it down. But it's still a positive start for him and for Forest.
Yeah, you mentioned his feet there. He's still finding his feet, isn't he, really, in the English game? This is his first season since moving from Botafogo.
Yeah, it is. But you're playing in the Premier League and Nottingham Forest, and no team can afford to go down. So, you know, you don't have long to find your feet, and 1 goal in 20 appearances is not ideal. So they definitely miss Chris Wood for sure, and there's every chance he won't be around for the whole season. So he's going to be a massive player for Forest.
Igor Jesus, he's fared rather better in the Europa League so far, scoring 4 goals in that competition. He has got 7 for the season, but as you rightly say, only the 1 goal in the Premier League so far. Big night for James McAtee.
Yeah, absolutely. Talked about how the talent he's got, the Manchester City's sort of potential and quality, definitely technique. It's all very well having that technique and being a great training ground player. You've got to be able to prove it in the matches as well, be effective. He's not able to do that, whether that's the price tag or just the fact of how Forest the season has started. Obviously, let's not forget, new manager came in, and straight away no one really liked him, and he's gone as well. Tough conditions, especially to combine with the Premier League and Europa League. I don't think enough people realise how difficult it is to do that, sort of midweek and weekends as well. But this was a Forest side at the start of last season, many people were predicting to go down. So what happened last season was nothing short of sensational. So actually then to go again, but they have bought players, and you're expecting those players to come in like a Jesus, like a McAtee, and take the team to the next level, and they haven't done that, and that's why they are where they are in the Premier League.
This is Callum Doyle, keeping the ball away from Hutchinson. A challenge in midfield, won by Ben Sheaf, acted by Hyam. It'll be Ryan Longman over on the far side. Here's Longman once again. Wrexham venturing forward with purpose for the first time in the game. Dobson just dropping back to collect here is Broadhead. Now with Doyle once more. Just settling into the game with some measured possession here, Wrexham.
Yeah, I mean, they look very comfortable on the ball, and it's all easy on the eye. Again, I'd go a little bit old school just in the first 10 minutes, test out the mentality of the Premier League big-timers. Let's see if they're up for this. They're not doing that at the moment.
You'd be trying to get the ball up there to ruffle the feathers of the 20-year-old Brazilian central defender who's making only his 3rd appearance for Nottingham Forest. And now forward comes Broadhead once more. Wayward with the pass. Morata was there and has promptly given it away. There'll be a free kick as well. for the foul by the Brazilian. That's the thing with Jay Cunha coming in today. At least there'll be no issues with communication because Morato alongside him, his more experienced partner, is also Brazilian.
Absolutely, they'll be speaking plenty of Portuguese between themselves. They've got to remember to switch it and speak English.
It's not going to help Zinchenko any, is it?
I don't know if they speak Ukrainian or not.
Bit of space here for George Dobson, one of those coming back into the team for this cup tie. Started most of the matches this season, but suddenly found himself on the bench for 3 of the last 4 before tonight, Dobson, but back in for this big third-round tie.
Yeah, he's a player I like. I saw him a lot at Charlton, and he was their captain. He was the most important player. I understand why Wrexham came in for him, but, you know, this is a team very much on the up, and, I mean, what is their ceiling? Just don't know. I mean, promotion. Surely they can't do it again in what is the relentless and the physicality of the Championship, and yet after I'd say a tough start, but just getting used to what the Championship is all about, they're absolutely peaking at the right time. And who knows, why can't they get into the playoffs? And someone even said to me, aim for second. Well, look, aim for the stars and see where you end up. And
it's the Championship, isn't it, Scott? I mean, things can change very quickly, and the vast majority of the teams in the league most seasons have got a chance of doing something, even as late as March.
Well, yes. I mean, I remember covering the Championship a few years ago when a certain Aston Villa were in there, and March the 1st, they were 13th. What happened? They sneaked into the playoffs, and they won the playoffs as well. Obviously, that's Aston Villa we're talking about, but I look at the Championship now this season. Apart from Coventry, and they've just sort of spluttered a little bit recently, I don't see a standout side at all. The relegated sides from the Premier League are struggling. I think it's up for any team that is able to find that bit of consistency, and that's what Wrexham have been doing at what was arguably the most difficult time of the season over Christmas.
The Kiwi, Kakache, with the deflection, carrying it behind. There's Savona, one of those coming into the Nottingham Forest team this evening, a signing from Juventus last summer. Nicolo Savona, young right back, first start since 2 days after Christmas, the Manchester City game. The flick on by Jesus. Chase for Danandoy, tidied up rapidly by Wrexham. Hyam's happy to leave it. Dobson keeping it simple and ensuring his team maintain possession. This is Dan Sky, he's the player brought into their back line today. Quite enough on that one to bring Smith into the game.
Do you know what, they're playing really good football though. I love the way there's always options when the defender's on the bench. You can see both Sheaf and Dobson, and then one of the wing backs as well, always trying to make an option, so he's got more than one of the player who's on the ball. Again, I just want to see them get at Nottingham Forest a little bit from a physical point of view, see if they're ready for it. It's a beautiful pitch, they're playing nice football, but haven't really asked any questions yet at the defence.
Savona was trying to find Igor Jesus, met by McAtee. This is Zinchenko. He's enjoying a reasonable amount of freedom to roam so far, it would seem. And now Douglas Luiz, who, like McAtee, hasn't really got his season up and running properly since arriving from Juventus. He's on loan. Of course, he got so much experience of the Premier League and English football. Just over 200 matches for Villa before heading to Italy, but just hasn't really got going in his return to England yet.
No, he hasn't. It's a really interesting one as well with Douglas Luiz. And the fact that once he plays a certain amount of games, there's an obligation to buy. So, you know, Nottingham Forest and Sean Dyche has to make a decision as, okay, do I really invest in this player? Do I just say I don't care about that? Or will that money, can I think it could be used elsewhere? So the fact he's playing tonight is a compliment in many ways, but will he be playing in the Premier League on a regular basis? Some Forest legends there, aren't there? I remember playing against Steve Stone on New Year's Day one year. I felt like I'd been out the whole of New Year's Eve. And I promise you I didn't.
Steve Stone, the man on the left-hand side of the picture there. A really good player during his career. Rathbone now for Wrexham. Starting to look lively. crowd sensing it and reacting to it straight away. Header clear from Morato. And chased hard by Amari Hutchinson. Sorry, by Ndoye. Sam Smith leading the line for Wrexham up top. He gets the free kick.
He's certainly going to be in for a physical battle with Morato. He likes that, but well done, Sam Smith. Really good first touch. Not easy when you've got a defender right up against you, and he's won a free kick in a really dangerous area. Just looks like it's being pulled back even further now, so it's I wouldn't say it's out of anyone's shooting range. It's worth having a pop and then just trying to follow it in, but...
Oh, there's a famous face from Wrexham's footballing past. Mickey Thomas, who played a key role. Yeah, he knew how to take a free kick, and he played a key role in the most famous of third-round ties at the racecourse. More on that in a moment, perhaps. Let's keep an eye on this free kick here. And the ball is at the feet of George Dobson. Ben Sheaf now. This is Rathbone. Well, that all rather fizzled out, and they wasted the opportunity to ask any questions of Forest there.
Again, why not just have a go, have a shot, see what happens? You know, gamble. And then if Sells makes a save but parries a little bit, follow it in again. It's been really good football actually from Wrexham, but don't make it a Premier League game. Make it a Championship game. You know, make it the Forest really struggling to live with the press, and also when Wrexham are on the ball, the physicality. I just feel like it. Fair play to Wrexham the way they're playing at the moment, but you know, make it even uglier for Forest. I don't think they've great opportunity there. They've not taken that opportunity.
Yeah, so far this is the type of tempo of game and style of game that's going to suit Forest, isn't it?
Absolutely. Douglas Luiz on the ball, James McAteen able to take a touch. No tackles flying in as yet.
Here's McAteen, no pressure on him in possession at the moment. A little bit of ring rust there for Dan Ndoye, first appearance for him in the last half a dozen matches. Yeah, just to go back to Mickey Thomas there, very famous FA Cup third round tie. When Wrexham wrote their own piece of third round history many years ago, it was in 1992. Arsenal came to the racecourse. They were the league champions, Arsenal, at the time. They were leading 1-0. Alan Smith had scored the goal. Mickey Thomas with a free kick equalised, 82nd minute. 2 minutes later, Steve Watkin got the winner. Wrexham had finished bottom of the entire Football League the previous season, so that was a proper giant killing.
Up there were one of the biggest giant killings of the FA Cup and its history, and boy, have there been some. I can picture the goal now. Of him taking that free kick and the strike past David Seaman.
Yeah, it is written in large letters in the history of the FA Cup, that one. Cleared away by Arthur Okonkwo, who hasn't really had anything to do so far in this opening 13.5 minutes. Quite a steady start to the match here.
Yeah, it has. We've only had one shot. Neither have been able to get a shot on target as yet. And football can seem to be happy with the football they've been played. I mean, you know, they've had more possession than Nottingham Forest, but I would have liked the first 10-15 minutes to have been a bit uglier, just to see if they were really up for this Nottingham Forest. But Wrexham look confident, definitely in the game.
Headed down by Igor Jesus, doesn't find Douglas Luiz. Rathbone sending it back, collected by Sheaf, back with Oliver Rathbone, and now Hyam. There's a neat and tidy look about Wrexham. As Callum Doyle just gives it a nudge to Kakache. He's being harassed by Sabrano. Luiz comes to try to help out. And concedes the throw. Kakache hasn't played too many matches, and he started around half a dozen now, if you include tonight, since his arrival from Empoli last summer. He hadn't featured until the last couple of matches since early in November, but plenty of experience both internationally and 86 appearances in Serie A during his time with Empoli. Quarter of an hour in, nothing in it so far, neither goalkeeper unduly tested.
No, not as yet. Wrexham looking very, very comfortable without making Forest uncomfortable. I just feel just there, George Dobson, he only really had that first time pass, and Sam Smith's got to read that instead of trying to go in behind. Such a tight place, get hands to feet.
Here goes Kakache. Getting the ball clear, the header from Douglas Luiz, collected by Bakwa. Seen a bit more of him the last couple of matches for Forest, Dylan Bakwa. Nottingham Forest to be quite happy that they've quietened the crowd a little bit here in this opening quarter of an hour, for the time being anyway. I don't think they'll need much encouragement should Wrexham venture forward and apply a little bit of pressure. But for the moment, it's the Premier League side on the front foot here, with McAtee sending it forward. It's Hutchinson dispossessed on the far side. McAtee collecting once more. Savona, the Italian. Bakwa. Up against Broadhead. Decent looking ball, and off the arm of Douglas Luiz before he put it into the back of the net. Referee Paul Tierney there he has given the handball, hasn't he? It looked like a handball by Douglas Luiz.
Well, it looked like a handball to me, and the referee certainly wasn't sure.
Douglas Luiz,
he thought it was given.
Thought that he'd scored and thought the ref had given the goal. But my distinct impression was that Paul Tierney hadn't missed that, and it wasn't a goal.
Well, he wasn't sure, Simon.
He did look a little bit.
He was asking the referee's assistant, what do you think there? And he didn't make it overly clear as to the fact that it wasn't going to be allowed, as the ball comes in. And from that angle, I don't see how you can't think. You know, again, it's about the line of the T-shirt, isn't it? I think without VAR, that's handball for me.
So it remains goalless, and Douglas Luiz is disappointed for now.
I mean, it's better from Forest. It's the first time really they've got the ball into the box, and that's what I think, you know, Wrexham should be doing, just getting more balls into the box, because you never know what can happen. There's a bit of chaos there. Douglas Luiz found himself in a bit of space. It's bounced up quickly. He stuck his arm out. He'll say it came off his shoulder. I think it came off the arm. But you know, that's what neither team has done so far up until that moment, and that's what can happen. You don't quite know what's going to... It's not a precise ball. You stick the ball in an area, but chaos can happen, and suddenly off the back of that, there's a goal.
Rolled in there by McAtee. Broadhead with the layoff. Kakache making tracks down the near side, and Bakwa able to get there first for Forest and keep it in as well. Luiz, tiny little flick that was to McAtee. Game's just starting to limber up a little bit now, to warm up. Igor Jesus waits in the middle. Douglas Luiz is right up there as well. Waiting for the cross in towards Luiz, tries to tee it up. And it was a shot coming in from Doy, but it's covered at the back here by Cunha.
Yeah, Forest have come to the party now, haven't they? Suddenly you've got McAtee getting on the ball more, Douglas Luiz looking to get forward as much as possible. Balls are going wide, crosses are coming in.
Savona sending it into Luiz. Breaking loose off Omari Hutchinson. Clearance not overly convincing though. For the first time, Forest just starting to assert themselves a little bit in this cup tie as we head towards the 20-minute mark. And it's a straight. forward gather there for Okonkwo, the Wrexham goalkeeper, former Arsenal youth team player, who's been their first choice since the start of September. Yeah, there's a lot of changes constantly around Wrexham, and there'll be something behind that goal in the not too distant future. Ryan Longman wins the corner.
Well, it's better from Wrexham. At least they're getting more, or they're getting the ball out of their half and into Forest's half. And again, I feel like I'm repeating myself. It's all a bit too pretty for me, and therefore Forest are more than comfortable. But still, I'd be happy with what he's seen so far.
Rare chance to put a little bit of pressure on Matt Sell's goal potentially here in the opening 20 minutes. We haven't seen that. Rathbone gets the shot away, and the deflection carries it behind. That's what they need to do, get the ball into the penalty area. Who knows, they might get a lucky deflection.
Absolutely, find a way to get a shot or a cross going in. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure Matt Sells would have got anywhere near that. It's good defending.
Yeah, Jair Cunha got his head in the way, fortunately for Forest. And it's going to be a corner for Wrexham on the near side, and George Dobson across to take it. Almost midway through the first half. They've got a few players out injured at the moment, haven't they, Wrexham? Kiefer Moore being one of them. Here comes the kick from Dobson, and behind for another one.
Kiefer Moore would have loved that ball, wouldn't he? Well, he's been an absolutely massive player for them, and he is a big miss, but they've dealt without him really, really well. Again, just put the ball in an area and see what happens. Nottingham Forest, don't forget, scored an own goal at the London Stadium just a few days ago, so always deal with set pieces particularly well, especially if it's put in with pace and power.
Got strong physical presence there on the edge of the 6-yard box. Dan Scarr up from the back to join his teammates. Long one to the far post, the header down by Callum Doyle, and it will be a Nottingham Forest free kick.
I'm going to say it's a bugbear of mine, but that kind of the outswinging corner. I mean, there, because you have to be really precise, and George Dobson has played it out to come in. If you look here, I mean, he might say that's his shoulder.
Yeah, do you know, from the referee's viewpoint, it was the exaggerated way in which his arm went up, made it look as if he was batting the ball with his arm. I think in real time to the referee, that's what it would appear.
Absolutely. I still can't work out of his bicep or his shoulder. It's on that line, isn't it?
Dear old VAR, hey?
I'm just thinking.
Everyone moans about it when we've got it, and then wonders where it is when we haven't.
Absolutely.
Forward off the boot of Morato. That's Igor Jesus chasing after it. He has company, but he's done rather well. Foul right on the edge of the penalty area, and Paul Tierney certainly was Johnny on the spot there to see that one.
He definitely was. Yeah, George Dobson does catch him. Just as well it was outside the box. I'm sure he knew where he was. Again, Forest are just starting to take control, really, aren't they? They were creating more chances. And this is a really dangerous position for Wrexham to defend so well.
Well, Zinchenko's buzzing around, but Douglas Luiz at the moment doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
No. Again, the in-swinging free kick or corner kick is so difficult to defend against. If everyone misses, aim for the far post, it goes in.
Douglas Luiz drills this one in, brings the save from Okonkwo. Attack still alive, ball collected here by Amari Hutchinson into the near post. Bakwa, and now McAtee. What's the delivery like this time? Not quite as good. Cleared away by Scarr. Here's Zinchenko, who Forest fans haven't seen too much of this season so far on his loan from Arsenal. In towards Jesus. And behind for a goal kick.
It's not a bad ball, just ask the question, can you get on the end of that? And that's what I want to see Wrexham doing a little bit more, getting the balls into the box and just asking questions of these two Brazilian centre-halves who may speak the language together but don't often play together.
Exciting times at the racecourse ground and in the town of Wrexham. What an incredible change it has been. What an incredible rise. National League title in 2023. That's the 5th tier of the English game, and then consecutive promotions, finishing in 2nd place in both League 2 and League 1 in the past 2 campaigns, and now 9th in the Championship, and certainly in the conversation for a potential playoff spot at the moment come season's end.
And the fans must be still pinching themselves, not believing what's happening to their club. Got to mention Phil Parkinson and just the job that he's done. And I've spoken to people, he wants everybody to stay humble, to work hard.
He's got a very steady demeanour, hasn't he?
Very steady. And all the razzmatazz that's going on around at Wrexham, Netflix documentaries and Hollywood superstars coming to town, the expectation that can come with that. I mean, he has just done an absolutely superb job.
Yeah, he doesn't look as the kind of guy who's going to get carried away with all the Hollywood razzmatazz.
Can't imagine him in Hollywood, can you?
Driving down Santa Monica Boulevard.
I take it you've done that then, Simon.
He's doing a good job, certainly, Phil Parkinson, though at the moment he's got them playing some good football, and they've got themselves a tough FA Cup tie this evening. As we get this Emirates FA Cup 3rd round weekend underway. McAtee, little exchange with Zinchenko, nearly came off, not quite. Nottingham Forest starting to threaten the longer this first half wears on.
Yeah, and that's why, again, I've been on both sides of it. When you're the smaller club playing at home, 10-15 minutes, just really go at that club, be ugly, play the balls in the channels, crosses in, see if they're up for it mentally. And I've been impressed with Wrexham, don't get me wrong, with the way they've been comfortable on the ball, the patterns of play, everybody quite comfortable to receive and pass, but that makes it a little bit too easy for Nottingham Forest. As I say, it's like a Premier League game, which in a way is a compliment to Wrexham, but that's what Forest want. It's not what Wrexham wants, really. Broadhead.
Perfectly timed by Louise. He does a good job of winning the throw as well. Yeah, if he can get a run of games going, Douglas Luiz, he could be an excellent acquisition for Nottingham Forest. As we mentioned before, a proven Premier League player of real quality. But he's had a thigh injury actually on and off this season, which has sort of halted his progress. Certainly hasn't helped. Now, this is Sam Smith, who's got some support from Rathbone, who's scrapping his way forward and winning his team a throw. Rathbone. Bakwa gets a foot in. Savona trying to see it behind. Did he manage to do so? Yes, say the officials.
Let's have a look. That's not the whole ball. It needs to be the whole ball. You know what?
Kache certainly thought he kept it in.
And referees do make mistakes. All human.
Here's Louise. Increasingly influential in the match, Douglas Luiz, seeing more and more of the ball. Clearance from Callum Doyle.
I just think while Wrexham have looked very comfortable on the ball, you know, they haven't brought the fans into this game.
No. They haven't shown any cutting edge so far, have they?
No, they haven't.
To get anyone out of their seat.
You can hear them now trying to get behind their team, but you know, the players haven't given the fans anything. That's not an easy thing to do, obviously, against the Premier League side, but I just think that it's been a bit too pretty, really. And Nottingham Forest have been comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's been steady. It's been more comfortable than Forest probably would have expected so far. Is that about to change? Now Nathan Broadhead on the charge here for Wrexham, into Sam Smith, who puts it wide of the goal. That'll get the crowd going.
That's what they want to see, and he's really unlucky. It's good movement. Suddenly they win the ball. And it's, what is it? It's a 3v2. This is driving with the ball. Sam Smith just gets that little bit of space, but really by the time he takes that shot, he's wide of the goal. It needs to be inch perfect on his left foot. It's a decent enough strike, but to beat Selsom there and get it into that far post was always going to be a very difficult thing to do. But at least they've been positive in the way that want to see them a little bit more, and they haven't been enough of in the first half an hour.
Yeah, Sam Smith has he's only started 3 matches in the Championship this season. He's come off the bench 19 times. That's been his role really, but he's scored in each of the last 2 games. They were 2-0 winners at Blackburn, and then last time out he scored in the 2-1 win at Derby County. So he's been coming into form, and it's a good opportunity for him this evening here in this FA Cup tie. Douglas Luiz now for Nottingham Forest. This is Savona. From Ndoye, and behind for a corner kick. Amazing to think, really, for a side, Nottingham Forest, who had such a great season last season, got themselves a European place, got to semi-final of the FA Cup, that by October of this campaign they were on their 3rd manager of the season. And here they are, they're doing okay in the Europa League. They're 11th, they're a couple of points outside the top 8 with 2 matches to play, but they're only 1 place above the relegation zone in the Premier League. But that situation eased a little bit with the win at West Ham. They're on the front foot here. Douglas Luiz swinging it in. We've seen him do that in the past, and that gave Okonkwo something to think about.
Yeah, again, we talk about set pieces, and the in-swinging set piece can be very difficult to deal with, and Okonkwo did really well there when you've got 2 or 3 players around you.
He needed to get to that. It was going in, wasn't it, from Luiz?
He's aiming for it.
Forest very much on the front foot here. It's a pretty easy header away by Ryan Longman. It's Dominic Hyam thumping it clear, the former Blackburn player. Tidied up by Morato. And the little flick infield, finding Amari Hutchinson. Good play from Hutchinson, and then it just got away from him, enabling Hyam to get his foot in. Opening up now. Ball out wide off the boot of Oliver Rathbone. Longman venturing forward. Back with Doyle now. He's enjoying his best run of starts for Wrexham of the season at the moment. Callum Doyle, 7th start in a row for him in their defence. Over half an hour played, still nothing in it.
Was an opportunity for Hutchinson there, wasn't it? Scar dived in. And just the touch was a little bit too heavy. He could have either had a shot himself or laid it a bit further wide. Definitely a missed opportunity in a game where there's not been many chances at all.
Yeah, gave Hyam the chance to get his foot in and get it away, and Morato going a little bit too long. Well, his demeanour hasn't really changed since the start of the game at any point.
Since the start of his tenure as a manager. He'd be good at poker, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah. What about Sean Dyche? Forest have picked up overall, haven't they, since he came in? They've had that rough spell for the last month before Wednesday, but up to that point they've been on an upward trajectory.
Yeah, I think again it was that sort of combination of the Premier League and the Europa League, and actually he did pick up straight away in the Europa League, and inconsistent in the league, and then there was those 4 straight defeats, and that's why on so many levels it was such a big win. I think he probably would have taken a draw against West Ham just a few days ago, and actually they've found the way to win when they weren't the better sides. doesn't matter when you're down there and you're playing a direct rival, just find a way to win. And
they were almost 2-0 down, weren't they, at one point?
It
was a very tight call for offside.
Should have been. You look at the squad though, Simon, and again, you know, I do caveat it with it's not easy with Premier League and Europa League together, and just last season they were expected at the start of last season to be relegation candidates. It's not easy to suddenly be right up there and combine those two, but they do have a good squad.
Decent sized squad as well. That was a lovely bit of play by Douglas Luiz in the heart of midfield. This is Zinchenko, the Ukrainian international. Back with Luiz once more. Savona. And now McAtee. Delicately flighted but dealt with very comfortably by the Wrexham defence, and now a chance to venture forward with Ben Sheaf. Here's Broadhead, now it's with Dobson. Rathbone moving it into space via Hyam, away to Ryan Longman. Rathbone trying to get away from his man. Broadhead, Kakache on the near side, and also Callum Doyle getting forward. Doyle's ball in. Luiz with a chance to work it away. A little bit of pressure. No foul. Decent shot, and it's even better than a decent shot. It's the opening goal of the cup tie. Liberato Kakache for Wrexham, who have liftoff in the FA Cup. What a moment for him, and what a big moment for Wrexham of the Championship, who take the lead against their Premier League opponents. Good play just outside the box. It was Dobson who won it back initially.
Well, initially, what it was a cross going in the box. It wasn't the best of crosses, but then they pressed and made sure that Nottingham Forest couldn't get out, and that's exactly what I sort of wanted him to do, play with that intensity. But look at that. There's a little bit of a deflection there as well, coming off Morata, which means that Sells just outside his outstretched hand there into the bottom corner. But yeah, get the ball wide, get the crosses in, and even if it's cleared out, really try to press them, because they will try and play out Nottingham Forest. Kakache gets hold of the ball, great strike, you have to say, and wow, do we have an upset on our hands.
What a time and a place to score your first goal at Wrexham. Kakache, who joined last summer, gets off the mark in the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest, and it is advantage to the Red Dragons of Wrexham from the Championship, and now we really do have a tie on our hands.
Well, we were discussing before the game who we should talk about, and you said let's talk about Liberato Kakache.
I will admit it wasn't because I thought he was going to find the back of the net.
Well, it's not really his job to do that. It's his job to get the ball out wide or receive it wide and get the crosses in, but that's what he can do.
He placed that pretty well, didn't he?
You must think if English football is so easy, mustn't they? It's been games most of the time.
There's the roar. Stadium comes alive. And suddenly Sean Dyche and Nottingham Forest have got a reasonable amount on their plate here. Savona being harassed in this little right-back area.
And that's the next thing that Wrexham have to do. They have to make sure they press really, really hard. Get to half-time 1-0 up. The crowd will really get behind them and cheer them on as well. They can see just before half-time, and the momentum swings back towards Forest. Don't allow Forest any time on the ball at all, and get the crowd back behind it. Listen to them now singing.
Yeah, suddenly the atmosphere absolutely terrific, where Forest had kept it muted for much of the opening half. Doyle now, and suddenly Wrexham are really up and about. This is Nathan Broadhead trying to flick it through. Rathbone's in, and it's number 2! It's extraordinary! 2 quick-fire goals late in the first half The racecourse ground goes absolutely mad. And we have a cup upset potentially on our hands here. Wrexham 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, they're not lifting the FA Cup just yet, but certainly they could be having a Premier League scalp. And the Hollywood superstars are absolutely loving it. What a few years it's been if you're a Wrexham fan. And look, this game is far from over at the moment, but it's one thing to go 1-0 up against Nottingham Forest, another thing to go 2. And you can see Broadhead gets on the ball. It's a lovely little pass into Rathbone, who's just found himself into the box. Got the space he's got there, a little bit of luck, but you make your own luck. I mean, Sells, he's got to be saving that. But still, from a Wrexham point of view, who cares?
But it's what you were saying, Scott. It's a bit of that getting at the opponent, in your face, attacking play, making them uncomfortable and seeing where it gets you, and look where it's got Wrexham.
This is what I was wanting from a Wrexham point of view, and I promise you I'm a neutral. I wanted to see Wrexham being the smaller side, really going at Forest in the first 10-15 minutes. This is what I was expecting early on, but look, if it comes later on in the first half and they're 2-0 up going into half-time, then you're a Wrexham fan, who cares? But yeah, ask questions. Don't make it a Premier League game, make it a Championship game with intensity and passion, and getting the ball into the box and not allowing them to come out. That's exactly what's happened in the last 5 minutes. And look what's happened with the scoreline.
Yeah, there's a story brewing here, that's for sure. And what a moment for Oliver Rathbone. He's had to bide his time. He's only started one game this season in the Championship, but he's settled straight into the starting 11 in this FA Cup tie and took his chance superbly. So what response from Nottingham Forest? Morato rolling it forward, but suddenly you can see Welsh tails are up, the Dragons roaring, away they come once more with Longman on the far side. Bakwa now trying to get back, and it's just launched out of play by Cunha.
Well done, Longman. Again, really good football from Wrexham. And if you're not quite sure, don't come out, just whip the ball in and see what happens. And Simone had no option other than just to try and kick it into Rose Head.
Here they come again, Nottingham Forest. All hands on deck here a little bit late in the first half, gathered by Matt Sells this time.
Not the best of balls there, the execution wasn't right, but the idea was. Again, if you can, get the balls in the box. Don't allow Sells to come in and have a cheap catch, but definitely put this Forest defence under pressure. We talked about how they may be able to speak the same language, the two centre-halves. They don't play together very often. It was a big call from Sean Dyche to put both first-choice centre-halves on the bench. It's such a pivotal position, it really is.
Yeah, both Murillo and Milenkovic both on the bench tonight. They've got the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, Callum Hudson-Odoi as well on the bench. They do have some reinforcements.
Absolutely. Even throw in Nico Williams, who obviously is a fullback, but loves to get forward as well and wants to be making a pressure this evening if he does get on the pitch. So they definitely have options. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes 3 substitutions at half-time, Sean Dyche.
Should be frustrating for him. He will be hoping to give a few players a bit of a rest tonight. Elliot Anderson, one of them, he's not involved at all.
Yeah. I mean, look, sorry, Simon, it's an opportunity for players when they're not playing regularly, but you have to take that opportunity. It's not easy when they say there are a lot of changes being made. It's not as if it's 11 changes from Tuesday, but still, you have to take that opportunity. If you don't be knocking on the manager's door and saying in 2 weeks' time, I want to be playing. Well, I gave you that opportunity, and look what happened.
Yeah, 8 changes made by Nottingham Forest today. Here's Douglas Luiz, one of those players brought into the side. And having been pretty comfortable for most of the first half, Nottingham Forest now suddenly at 6s and 7s a little.
Again, you can say it was a little bit of luck, but he's earned that luck. Ryan Reynolds delighted. He's like, yeah, let's go. We've seen plenty of these over the last few years. Absolutely loving it. What an impact they've made. The two of them must be absolutely loving it.
Yeah, an impact they've made on the club and the town as a whole.
Yeah, and look, what I really respect about them is they're absolute superstars, but they're not saying we know everything and we'll do it our way. You know, they know what they know, and what they don't know, the art of good management is delegation, and that's what they've done. You know, Les Reed, Sean Harvey, you know, other people who know exactly in terms of how to develop this club, not just on the pitch but off it. Try and develop the youth in the academy, but also at the same time pushing forward with the first team with the right characters.
A good manager as well.
And that comes from Phil Parkinson, Simon. It really does. You know, Sean Harvey was saying at the start of the season he found it really disgusting and disgraceful, disrespectful, when people saying, well, look, has he reached his sort of level with Wrexham, and if they don't start well, will he get sacked? And he was like, no, that's not going to happen at all.
Foul there by Dan Scarr. So Forest here with, well, barely an opportunity. There's Mickey Thomas watching on. Barely an opportunity to attack, but here come Wrexham now. And it's Sam Smith. Sam Smith for number 3. And the save by Sells. My goodness me, what a massive save that was from the Forest goalkeeper.
Absolutely massive. 3-0, and I don't see Forest coming back from that, no matter what the changes Sean Dyche makes. It's a massive moment in this tie.
So there was me thinking when Forest had that free kick that this might be one last chance for them to maybe get a goal before half-time and come right back into the tie, and then suddenly they could easily have been 3-0 down. Just about 5 seconds later, here's Savona now, sending it forward. What a miserable opening half it has turned into for Nottingham Forest. The cheers around the stadium for the players in red and white. What a half it turned into for Wrexham, and it could have been even better. They could almost have been out of sight here with virtually the last kick of the first half. Sam Smith couldn't quite get the ball in for number 3, but I think they'll be more than happy to settle for a 2-0 lead at the break. Phil Parkinson's team bursting into life. 37th minute, Liberato Cacace scoring his first goal for the club, the New Zealand international, and then Oliver Rathbone making it 2-0 5 minutes before half-time. At the break in North Wales, Wrexham 2, Nottingham Forest 0. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half at the racecourse ground. This really big opportunity for Wrexham tonight of the Championship up against Nottingham Forest of the Premier League. It was Forest on the front foot in their change strip early in the game. Zinchenko sliding it forward. Ball reached by Igor Jesus, but his flick shot as he tumbled over beyond the goal.
Yeah, first attempt came from Forest. Just a little bit past the front post there and couldn't move his feet quick enough.
Dylan Bakwa trying to get in on the action here as it bounced up. Douglas Luiz bringing the ball under control. It seemed with his arm, and that's certainly what Paul Tierney, the referee, felt. I think he was looking for some guidance from assistant on the near side who might have had a better view. No VAR tonight, ruled out.
No, and Paul Tierney didn't know, let me tell you. He was asking a little bit of advice. And that's what happens when you stick the ball in the box. A little bit of chaos has come to Douglas Luiz. He's flicked his arm up. I mean, he'll say it's kind of come off his shoulder. I think that's come off his arm, really. He's not happy about it, especially with no VAR. No, disallowed.
So Forest denied the opening goal of the match, and Wrexham bursting into life here.
first real attempt at target, wasn't it? I'm trying to be direct. A decent strike, really good defending, very important, because I'm not sure that Matt Sells would have got anywhere near that.
And it was Cunha who got his head to that, conceding a corner. Bit of excitement for the home crowd after what had been a steady opening to the game. Douglas Luiz whipping this one in, bringing the save from Okonkwo, who hasn't been very busy in the first half at all.
No, he hasn't, but that's a decent save, because it's a horrible ball coming in. Douglas Luiz whipping it towards the far post, and yeah, decent save, powering it out.
Wrexham picking up the loose pieces in midfield, and Morato chasing to get back, and the shot from Smith just dragging it across the face of the goal.
Yeah, really is where Wrexham started to try and put Forest under pressure. And you can see here, I mean, it's poor defending. Suddenly it's a 3v2. Broadhead just slips in Sam Smith, and by the time he receives the ball, that's a difficult angle on your left foot to beat Selson there. It's a decent strike. It's almost, you need the outside of your left foot for it to curl in.
So Wrexham had a couple of attempts on goal, but now they really started to get going. Doyle into the penalty area. Douglas Luiz trying to work it away. One back there by Dobson initially. Kakache perfectly placed beyond the dive of Matt Sells. Wrexham ahead in the 37th minute.
Yeah, this is exactly how I was expecting Wrexham to kind of start the game. Alan Doyle whipping the ball in, and then yes, they cleared it to a point, Nottingham Forest, but press, and then they win the ball. Kakache comes across. Look at that, they're tight. They're trying to play little intricate football. This is the championship football that I'm talking about, when you press really high. Suddenly, look what can happen when you win the ball back. Kakache has the shot. You can see there's a little deflection here, which takes it even further away from Matt Sells. But again, let's say they earned their own luck because of that pressing, because of the pressure they wanted to put on Forest.
Yeah, and Murray Hutchinson have been out hustled there in losing possession, but it got even better for the championship team just 3 minutes later.
Well, again, you know, it's about winning the ball back. Look at this pass here. It's a forward pass, a really good pass from Callum Doyle.
Broadhead finding a bit of space, did a combination with Rathbone, who took his chance.
He did. And again, people might say, oh, look, you know, the ball ricocheted to him, but because they asked the questions, because they put pressure on Forest, first of all winning the ball, then a really good forward pass, little pocket of space that he's found himself in, and suddenly look, he's wanting the ball, he's calling for the ball, he's come off Morata, but he's reacted quickly. I still think this is an angle here for Matt Sells, a very good goalkeeper. I think he should be saving this. It's gone under him almost, but look, if you're a Wrexham fan, who cares? A little bit of luck there on your right foot, perfect angle. 2-0, who would have thought that going into half-time?
Oh, Rathbone's forceful play there, you could argue that he made his own luck by the approach that he had there. And Forest here, right at the end of the half, with a free kick, made an absolute hash of it. Sam Smith here, with the referee about to blow for half-time. What a chance that was for 3-0, and what a big save.
It's game over. It's game over at 3-0. Look at the counter-attack. It's a great first touch. He just needs to get it further from Matt Sells. Still game on.
We've seen so far, what a story potentially we have on our hands. Wrexham 2, Nottingham Forest 0, 5 attempts to 3 of them on target. Forest just the one effort on target up to now. They've had slightly more of the ball, the Premier League side, but haven't really done enough with it.
No, and it's kind of balanced out. Sometimes throughout that first half I was keeping an eye on it. It was Wrexham who had more of the ball. In the end it was Forest, but it's about what you do with the ball, and when you put players under pressure, things can happen. 3-0, I think it would have been over, but if Forest get the next goal, trust me, it's going to make things interesting. We've still got a very good second half to come.
Yeah, it'll be a different game then, won't it? Have a different feel to it. Liberato Kakache, well, he was the toast of the town, wasn't he, in Wrexham with that opening goal. What a time to score your first goal for the club.
Absolutely. I mean, the 100% pass completion looks great, but who cares really about that? It's about what can you do with the ball. I want to see him putting a few more crosses in, but in terms of the goal, it was a massive goal, wasn't it?
And what about the scorer of the second goal, Rathbone? He's been pretty busy in that first half. He's putting himself about.
Look at him, he's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere, and that's what you want, both with and without the ball. It's finding little pockets of space, and obviously the second goal, or the goal that he scored, was the perfect example of it. But he doesn't just stay in one position, he is absolutely everywhere, apart from left back.
Well, yeah. Well, only the top people are found there on a football pitch, as you would attest to yourself. Now, Wrexham announced themselves once more onto the national stage as recently as 2023 in the FA Cup. Our look back into the archives now takes us back to their trip to Championship side Coventry City as the National League High Flyers, as they were then, sought to defy the odds.
Coventry away, but that day was mental. I think it'd go down as one of the games of the season in the FA Cup. It was the third round, the round everyone dreams to get to, where the big teams come in, and we drew Coventry. Like every game we do, we wanted to go in and try and win the game. I mean, it was going to be hard, but we knew if we came up with a game plan, listened to the gaffer and worked hard for each other, that we'd have a chance in the game. The game went our way pretty much from start to finish.
And it goes again, it's a good ball, it's a fine finish from Sam Dolby. This is Lee, waiting it in, no, scoring sensationally, 2-0 Wrexham.
That game was quite strange. I had adrenaline running through me that I probably never had before.
And there's the finish, thumped in by Ben Sheaf, and Coventry City are back in it. Deep into Coventry territory, they haven't dealt with it, and it's O'Connor.
In the second half, when we won the penalty, you had to calm that adrenaline right down and take some deep breaths.
It's a really good penalty into the corner, and it is 4-1 Wrexham, remarkably.
That put us into a healthy lead in the game, so it was important that I put that away. Quite strange as a child, you go watching the FA Cup and it's such a big thing for you, so every one you do score, it's always a moment, and quite a magical moment to say you've scored in the FA Cup. We were 4-1 up in the game. They managed to get back in the game with the quality they've got. I think Gyökeres came off the bench and managed to get a goal, and he really changed the tide for them.
Casey Palmer with a free kick, oh, perfectly placed. Well, they couldn't, could they?
They really put the pressure on us and forced our goalkeeper into some unbelievable saves towards the end of the game, and we were clinging on. To finish a game at 4-3 is always mental. We managed to see it over the line. We took 4,500-5,000 fans with us that day and sold out the allocation. It was an unbelievable day, and to share it with them after the game was extra special.
Macclesfield seek to write another chapter.
Take nothing away from these Macclesfield players. They are in the history books.
Eze arrives on the scene. Crystal Palace take the lead.
John Rooney, he follows in the footsteps of his brother.
James Edmondson with a worldie.
Oh, it is a scintillating goal. There's a new name on the FA Cup. Crystal Palace.
Well, just 3 non-league teams remain in this year's competition, and for 6th tier Macclesfield, tomorrow's tie against the holders will be a fantastic landmark occasion. It'll be the club's first foray into the third round since reforming back in 2020. Welcome back to our live coverage from the racecourse ground, and what a story we have brewing here. Phil Parkinson and his team have been taking it to Nottingham Forest. They have a 2-0 lead as we go into the second half, and Sean Dyche is making a triple substitution. Morgan Gibbs-White, their captain, is going to come on. So is Nicholas Dominguez and Nico Williams, Wrexham born. Williams coming on. Alexander Zinchenko makes way for him. James McAtee has been whipped off, and also Dylan Bakwa. So triple change for Nottingham Forest as they try to get back in this cup tie.
Not surprised at all. I think he would have made that, Sean Dyche, even if they were 1-0 down. By the way, with Phil Parkinson walking across the pitch, someone told him they're 2-0 up, not 2-0 down. Again, it's that poker face, isn't he? But Sean Dyche can't be happy with what he's seen in the first half, and I think the fact he's made 3 substitutions shows us that. I think if he could have, not worried about injuries, able to make 11 subs at some point in the second half, then he probably would have made more. But that shows how unhappy he was with that first 45 minutes.
So away we go, and a really big 45 minutes coming up here for both of these teams. Wrexham so close to going 3-0 up, almost on the stroke of half-time. Sells making a pivotal save to deny Sam Smith. Might have been hard to see Forest coming back at 3-0 down at the break, but they're on the attack here, and if they can make a bright start to the second half, it'll have a completely different feel to it, this cup tie. Things can change very quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, look, we both sort of said at the half-hour mark, then I think Sean Dyche would have been pretty happy, really, with how things were going. But with what happened in the last sort of 15 minutes, they almost got away with only being 2-0 down. And 3-0, I don't think they'd be coming back from this, no matter what substitutions he would have made. And the fact it's 2-0, if they are able to somehow get the next goal, makes everybody nervy, not just on the pitch for Wrexham, but off it as well with the fans. So still in this game if they can get the next goal.
Dan and Doyle, look at him go. Great pace from the Swiss international, but that's excellent defending from Callum Doyle. And it gets almost as big a cheer from the crowd as some of the play at the other end of the field. And here they go again. Smith bearing down on Jay Cunha.
Brilliant, because it looked like he was away, didn't it? Callum Doyle, with those long legs of his, just was able to get in a brilliant tackle. And look, that can get a crowd going as much as a great bit of skill. Brilliant defending.
Callum Doyle, 22-year-old, they signed from Manchester City's under-21s last summer. Looks to be an astute signing. Bit of space here for Douglas Luiz, who thought he'd scored, thought he'd opened the scoring in the first half, but given as a handball by referee Paul Tierney. Here's Williams. First touch for Dominguez as well, away to Cunha. Forest with Nicolo Savona and Morgan Gibbs-White, who might have been hoping for a bit of a rest tonight. I think his manager was hoping he wasn't going to need him. He's going to be key for what lies ahead. I'll tell you what lies in the immediate future for Nottingham Forest is a home match against the league leaders, Arsenal. That's their next game in the Premier League, and then they've got a trip to Braga in the Europa League straight after that. They've got defending to do before that as Rathbone ventures forward once more. Ryan Longman now collecting. Longman, well, I think that was an effort on goal rather than a cross, but he's certainly been lively on the right-hand side for Wrexham. Some good play from Longman, but rather miscued that one there.
Yeah, I still can't work out whether that's a cross or a shot. No, I think it...
But he has played well overall.
No, he's done really well. He's done really well. And look, wing-backs are so important when you play this system and this formation. It's not an easy thing to do. I've played in that position. You're expected to help out your defence, but you also get forward and put the crosses in. First of all, you need to be an athlete, and second of all, you need to have a bit of quality with the crosses. And okay, that wasn't there on his left foot, but I think he's done very well so far in the first half.
A chase here for Omari Hutchinson out wide. I think he'd be happier if he stays further out wide rather than through the middle.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with him I just don't think he's a 10. I think as a 10 you really need to be able to get on the ball, find pockets of space, affect the game, and I don't think the football intelligence is quite there. He's a very tricky winger. We've seen how good he can be. Probably better on the right than the left, so he can come inside and either cross or shoot. Yeah, was disappointing amongst many other Nottingham Forest players in that first half, and I'm sure Sean Dyche would have said, listen, I'm only taking 3 of you off, but if I could, I'd take off a lot more.
Williams. Morato. Jair Cunha, one of the players they've signed from Botafogo in Brazil. Only his 3rd appearance for Nottingham Forest today, the central defender, the 20-year-old. It's Dominguez playing it up to the edge of the penalty area. Sam Smith rather isolated up top there for Wrexham.
You know, looking at the substitutions, I think they're really good substitutions. Vaughan Gibbs-White, we know the quality that he's got, which also allows Amari Hutchinson to come out wide, which is his best position. You've got Nico Dominguez, who I thought was Forest's best player against West Ham a few days ago, and I mean, that's not a massive compliment, but
scored a goal as well.
Absolutely. And then you've got Nico Williams, who not only do I feel he adds a bit more going forward, you mentioned it, you know, he's playing here at Wrexham and we'd love to try and make an impression. We'll try and bomb on as much as possible. So 3 very good substitutions. Let's see if they can make an impact or not.
I think one of the things on the minds of those Forest fans over the last 24 hours was A, whether this game was going to be on, and B, how they might get there. Some heavy snowfall across the East Midlands and the northwest of England and into Wales as well. But fortunately, the match never in doubt. There was no need for an inspection or anything. I'm certainly advised to allow a little bit longer to make the journey. It's a fair old trek from Nottingham.
It does make me laugh how this country has a little bit of snow and suddenly there's absolute
grinds
chaos.
To a halt, doesn't it? 2 centimetres of snow. There was a bit more than that last night. It was a bit of a storm, wasn't it? Certainly the amount of snow that Canadians would scoff at.
My in-laws live in Montreal, I'll say no.
Douglas Luiz. There's Dominguez laying it back to Morato. Forest just desperate to get on the board, get a foothold in the match and take it from there, but Wrexham standing firm and trying to pass their way out of trouble. Dominguez collecting. Here's Luiz. Hutchinson allowed it to run. Pass up towards Smith, who's straining every sinew there for his team.
Excellent. You know, it's not been the best of nights for him going forward, and obviously still probably in the back of his mind that missed chance right on half-time. But even if things aren't going particularly well for you, don't stop working hard. You know, that's to be fair to Kiefer Moore, that's what he does as well. He's very good, he's very strong, he can hold the ball up, he can score goals, especially with his head. But he also presses really well, and that's something that Phil Parkinson wants his forwards to do, work hard without the ball from the front. Sam Smith did just that.
Chris Dominguez is seeing quite a lot of the ball in the few minutes that he's been on the pitch so far. This is Savona. And the delivery met by the head of Gibbs-White, and the shot coming in from Dominguez. Forest coming into this tie a bit more here. Those changes seem to have helped them at half-time. Morgan Gibbs-White. He gives them a bit more bite, a bit more drive through the middle, a bit more know-how. Hutchinson's delivery, an easy header away for Dan Scarr, up towards Smith, who does well. The referee well placed to see the challenge from Luiz. Paul Tierney quick to blow, free kick Wrexham.
It's a foul, and Wrexham just need to just take a little bit of a breather. There's no doubt about it, the substitutes have made an impression. The ball comes in, it's not the greatest of clearances, I think that's fair to say, but what a clearance that was. That possible handball can't be that there. It wasn't a good clearance, and that man Callum Doyle just in the right place at the right time. The proximity of it, I don't think his hand was in an unnatural position. There's no way that's handball.
Forest with a decent record in recent seasons in the F.A. Cup, semi-finalists last year. They reached the 5th round the year before that. trip to Wembley, but it ended in disappointment. 2-0 to Manchester City. Beat Brighton on penalties in the quarter-finals to get there. We've got plenty to do here in this second half to get back in the third-round tie this time round. Gibbs-White, good ball with real purpose, and Doy. There was a chance to clear Igor Jesus. Very important block there made at the back by Scar. Down goes Gibbs-White. Free kick Forest.
You can see the quality of the players, and that man in particular. I mean, quite simply, he is international class. He's played for his country, and you can see why. It's a poor touch there from Ben Sheaf, and just not allowing Wrexham to get out. Sometimes you just have to get rid of the ball. It's a great block again. Blocking it so well. And George Dobson cannot afford to be making rash tackles like that. We talk about how the importance of the next goal, and suddenly the whole complex, the psychology of the game just completely changes. Don't make fouls right on the edge of the box.
Decent looking opportunity here for Nottingham Forest. Williams and Louise, the two players either side of the ball. Might be a test coming up here for Arthur Okonkwo in the Wrexham goal.
We can go either way here.
Now what's Douglas Louise got up his sleeve here? Well, it was a lovely free kick and a very fine save indeed.
Well, that is not easy to get up and down. That's an excellent save. Wasn't quite in the corner. Still, there's not a lot to do with Okonkwo, has he? But everything he has done, he's done with real class.
A former youth team player with Arsenal, signed him a couple of years ago now. Forest still on the front foot here, into the middle it goes once more, and Wrexham stand firm. And the cheers in the background will tell you that it's going to be their ball.
Yeah, it's almost cheers of relief, because Forest have really stepped it up with these substitutions, and you can see that Sean Dyche would have had a real go at the team. Would have been an old school half-time team talk, as well as making the substitution changes, and it'd be very happy with how they've responded to it. The only thing obviously they're lacking is the goal, but the way they're playing at the moment, that goal is coming.
It's quite an experienced committee there, isn't it, on the touchline? Woad and Steve Stone there with Sean Dyche. Plenty of Forest in their DNA over the years, those three in fact.
The one on the left, Steve Stone on the right, and it was a centre half. Stick him up front, Sean Dyche.
There's Morgan Gibbs-White trying to find a way through. Here's Savona drilling that one in. Okonkwo's there, and the deflection goes behind. It was Dan and Doy, and the deflection I think came off Dan and Doy, and it could so easily have just gone into the back of the net there.
It's coming. It's coming the way that Forest are playing, and the way that Wrexham are not able to get onto the ball and hold the ball up front. You can see the ball's whipped in. He's not happy at all. Morgan Gibbs-White. Okonkwo's not quite in.
It's a save by Okonkwo.
Well,
there.
it's a save, but he didn't know anything about it. His leg was there, and it would have gone in. Talking about the goal is coming if Wrexham don't try and wrestle back the tempo of the game.
No wonder Forest wanted a corner. Heading towards the hour mark in this Emirates FA Cup third round tie. Wrexham, who joined our coverage a little late, 2-0 up at half time with goals in the 37th and 40th minutes of the first half. Forest making 3 changes at half time when they could have been 3-0 down at the break quite easily. And those 3 changes have really helped them. They're playing with much greater purpose so far. But that's good from Nathan Broadhead. Lovely play from him. Rathbone collects. Back into Broadhead. Looks to get it out from under his feet. Brings the save from Sells. That's the best we've seen from Wrexham since half-time.
Yeah, I mean, what a goal that would have been. Just brilliant bits of skill. Picking the ball up on the halfway line. Going past 1, going past 2. Laying it off when you need to. Great movement. Could possibly have a shot. No, someone else is in a better position. I'm going to go past you on the left foot. It's a simple save really in the end from Sells, but it's a great team move, and Yeah, you're absolutely spot on, Simon. That's arguably their best move of the whole game, not just of the second half.
Wrexham mixing it up. The shot from Rathbone a little more wayward on this occasion. It was he who doubled their lead in the first half. Great form going into this one, Wrexham. They've won the last 4 matches. Looking to keep that going, and they are going to make a change now. The first one, George Thomason is going to come on to replace Liberato Cacace, who scored the first goal of the game. Cacace there with his first Wrexham goal to put them 1-up.
Yeah, I mean, Thomason has been playing more so in the league, but Cacace, what an impact, what a goal. And he'll certainly go down as a bit of a hero if Wrexham do go through this evening. Well done to him. But yeah, Thomason, we talked about how Forest are taking control of this game, and at the moment, the way they're playing, the goal is coming. So Phil Parkinson had to do something.
Yeah, different kind of player, isn't he? It's not a like-for-like one there. He's a central midfielder, Thomason. They got him from Bolton last summer, but he's been establishing himself in the Wrexham side. He started 8 of the previous 10 in the Championship before tonight, so he should be up to speed very quickly in this game. Throw from Nico Williams. And a play off the boot of Dominguez. Forest could do with a goal, couldn't they? Just to keep going that early second half momentum before it starts to fizzle out a bit.
Yeah, you need to score when you're on top, and you've certainly been on top since half-time. Still time, still plenty of time, even if they get, it's another 10 minutes and they get that goal that makes the last 20 really, really nervy for Wrexham, and that equaliser can come, but they want to try and get that first goal, Forest, sooner rather than later.
Route one from Williams. The leap from Doy, collected here by Igor Jesus. Now Amari Hutchinson. Williams. Dominguez sending it back out wide. Nico Williams with the delivery to the far post area, but it's too long as Savona was racing in behind everybody else, and facial expression of Sean Dyche, I think, tells you all you need to know about how they're feeling.
Yeah, an overhit cross. I just wonder whether Savona could have, almost as Nico Williams came on his right foot, realised what he was going to do. He was going to get the ball in the box and then gamble at the far post where no one was picking him up. Is he Welsh for the day, or has he got a certificate now that he's an honorary member, isn't he?
He is an honorary Welshman, isn't he? For Nottingham Forest. Less than half an hour for Sean Dyche's team to come back in this match. There will be a free kick for the foul by Dobson again, this time on Dominguez.
I think George Dobson is lucky not to get a yellow card there.
It's not the first free kick that he's conceded.
No, it's not.
About the third one at least.
Absolutely, and if you look at this one, you can see he's looking at him straight away. He's pulling him, and then the legs have been caught. Very lucky.
Savona now needs to be a decent delivery. Igor Jesus gets up well. Is it headed off the line? The referee has the signal. It's a goal. Nottingham Forest are back in this FA Cup tie. Igor Jesus. Wrexham thought they might have got the ball away in time, but not so.
Well, we've been saying it's been coming since half-time. Really good overlapping play. It's a wonderful cross. Okonkwo can't get there, and he wants it more, doesn't he, at the far post. And there's Okonkwo rises and dives to his right, not able to keep it out. It's a great header. It's a powerful header. It's hit the post and spun in. Look at that, he wants it.
And it's definitely over the line before Doyle heads it away.
Yeah. And look, Sean Dyche, he knows. We talked about how, they get the goal and the whole complexion of the game just completely changes. And, don't need to get it now, but ideally sooner rather than later. They've got plenty of time now to get the equaliser.
Just for a moment or two, the drop in the volume inside the stadium. Wrexham's balloon has been popped just for the time being at 2-1. Now their home crowd not sitting quite so comfortably in their seats. It feels like a long way to go here with 25 minutes left. But here they come, roaring back. And it's Sam Smith in possession. He's got some support up alongside him, Nathan Broadhead. We've seen some good quality from him in this match. Broadhead just took a little too long, and Nicholas Dominguez able to take it off his feet, but one back initially by Doyle. Back with Broadhead now, looks for an opportunity to whip it in. Douglas Luiz makes the block, and Forest come away with it, and Dominguez, who's played well since coming off the bench at half-time, got in a little tangle there with Callum Doyle. Wanted a free kick. Referee says get on with the game, and his teammates are coming forward here now with Dan Ndoye, and Ndoye into the near post, saved by Okonkwo and away off the boot of Haya. And there'll be a free kick as well, conceded by Cunha.
It's not good defending from Cunha because Forest are on top, and it's exactly what Wrexham want and need, just to win a foul and kill a bit of time. But look at the pace that Forest have. Meant to be a cutback, but it's gone straight to Okonkwo, and who knows what could have happened off the back of that. As Morato, who comes in and just takes down Smith. It's poor defending, he's not going anywhere. See how his first touch is, try and nick it on the second touch, and then carry on the front foot. Now Wrexham can just try and calm down again, not surprised.
It was clumsy, wasn't it?
Yeah, that Phil Parkinson's looking to try and make another substitution.
Yeah, Josh Windass is going to come on. He's got a good track record in the F.A. Cup. They're going to make a double change. More on that in a moment, with Luiz in possession here for Nottingham Forest, who are looking to come right back into this F.A. Cup tie. And Doyle on the far side, halted. That was Thomason, the substitute, with the challenge on him. Back out with Dominguez, who's seen plenty of the ball. Savona. Dominguez now into Luiz. Keeps it clear of Rathbone. Forest on the front foot. They can sense a route back into this tie. Somehow it found its way all the way through to Okonkwo, who I don't think was expecting it.
It was not. It's gone past two Wrexham players there, hasn't it? And more than gives White what a difference he's made.
Rathbone's given it away. And suddenly in this little spell, Wrexham's looking a touch ragged here, as Forest apply the pressure, and here they come once more. Igor Jesus, confidently taken by Okonkwo.
It's really important here now for Wrexham. The two central midfield players in this 3-4-2-1. Ben Sheaf and George Dobson don't get ahead of the ball. If you can try and attack, then fine, go down one wing. The wing backs can do that and get the two number 10s and your centre forward in there, but always make sure, always think, right, we could lose the ball, and on the counter attack, are we in the right place to stop a possible goal?
Williams. Lovely ball from Luiz, perfectly placed. Here's Gibbs White. No foul on him. Dominguez. Spinning off the outside of his boot. So Phil Parkinson is going to make some substitutions here for Wrexham, with Josh Windass coming on, looking for some fresh legs for the final quarter of the match. So Josh Windass coming on his 32nd birthday. Both teams making changes at the same time, and we're going to see Oliver Rathbone leaving the field here as well.
I think in terms of going forward, they've not really added anything in the second half. Obviously, got the goal in the first, and if they can keep this lead, then he'll become an absolute hero, but just needed to have something a little bit more, and they weren't really getting in the game at all and holding the ball up.
So Lewis O'Brien on against his former club. He signed from Nottingham Forest last summer. So Dan and Doy back from injury. His night's work is done, and Callum Hudson-Odoi is on for him. Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's played in 2 FA Cup finals with Chelsea. Unfortunately for him, ended up on the losing side both times in 2020 and 21.
I think it's fair to say he's got the big hitters on now, hasn't he?
Well, he needed to do something, didn't he?
He certainly did. And he did that at half-time. He had to be very proactive. I think maybe one of the 3 subs at half-time have come on and helped make a difference. Morgan Gibbs-White has been superb controlling the game, and that's why Phil Parkinson's reacting really to how good Forest have been in the second half.
And Hudson-Odoi's first touch is to send it away to the far side. Savona clipping it in, and O'Brien gets it away for Wrexham. O'Brien, who finally left the City Ground last summer on a permanent basis, but he'd had 4 loans during his time there in the East Midlands, made 17 appearances for the club. 20 minutes to go. Championship side with a slender advantage.
O'Brien did very well at Swansea when he was on loan there, and look, they were trying to get a deal, but I don't think Swansea could handle the wages he was on at Forest, so Wrexham said, right, we'll take over here, thank you. And he's alongside Matty James, has been excellent.
Yeah, normally you'd have Matty James involved. He's not in the squad for the match tonight. Max Cleworth as well, the defender, not involved this evening. Louise with a very tiny turn. Here's Gibbs-White. Savona available far side. And now in possession. Hutchinson. Trapped by O'Brien. Real test this for Wrexham, but away they come with George Dobson, and look at the space. Suddenly Forest are backpedaling. Oh, and the pass just out of reach for Smith. That was a nearly but not quite moment for Wrexham.
Yeah, well, when you get those opportunities, and there won't be many now in the second half, because Forest are really dominating, and Wrexham have to be compact to make that inch perfect pass.
Decent cut tie this. Forest looking to apply further pressure. Hutchinson staying over on the far side at the moment. Here he is. With Williams, and now Louise. Turn there by Gibbs-White. No foul, says referee Tierney. Wrexham's turn to venture over the halfway line. Ryan Longman has done well here. And Smith will keep it in. Dobson finding Windass. Free kick. With a foul by Hudson-Odoi.
And again, it's exactly what Forest don't want. Someone making a foul and just calming the game down. It's Forest who want to keep the intensity up now. Wrexham trying to wrestle control of the tempo, and it's good from them actually. Just in the last couple of minutes, at least they've been trying to get forward.
He gives them a bit more attacking intent as well, Josh Windass. He scored 5 goals in 15 previous appearances in the FA Cup, including both for Sheffield Wednesday as they beat Newcastle in the 3rd round 2 years ago. Over it comes, here's a chance, and it's taken! Dominic Hyam! Wrexham's 2-goal lead is restored. And Hyam has never scored for Wrexham before tonight. Just when Forest were on top, just when they were pushing for an equalising goal, Wrexham score their third of the night past Matt Sells.
I'm just checking to see whether it's David Beckham or George Dobson taking that free kick. I mean, look at it. You have to whip it in with pace, with power, to make sure the defenders can't get it and Sells can't come out and catch it. The corridor of space, that's so difficult. Can't give that as offside. You need to get the semi-automated out. We know that's not around this evening. And it's like, please, just stick me in the back of the net. Crying out for it. It's a wonderful ball. And Hyam wants it. He gets in front of Jesus. Jesus did really well for his goal. Well, Hyam's done really well there. He's just about seen it. Or was he missed it? Doesn't matter. It's 3-1 if you don't know. It's a massive, massive moment because Forest looked like it. The equaliser looked like it was coming.
Wow. Wrexham 3, Nottingham Forest 1, and it's sort of back to square one in a way for Nottingham Forest. Such a lot to do and only a quarter of an hour in which to do it. But they've got plenty of talent on the pitch. And again, if they can find a goal here from Callum Hudson-Odoi, suddenly they're right back into this FA Cup tie. And Hudson-Odoi, the substitute, a two-time FA Cup finalist, brings Sean Dyche's team right back into it. We're far from done.
What a cup tie! I don't care who you're supporting or even if you're neutral, can't help but love it. This is the beauty of the FA Cup third round. 3-1, you're absolutely right. It's back to how we were at the start of the half with just 15 minutes to go. Well, no, we're going to go down the other end and score. Cut the ball back, and Callum Hudson-Odoi, who gave that silly free kick away, well, he's made up for that one, hasn't he? Conqueror's got no chance whatsoever, and that's what happens when you get to the byline and cut the ball back.
And the applause around the stadium is in memory of Terry Yorath, who died this week at the age of 75. He was a wonderful footballer with Leeds United and Wales, and a national team manager as well. Great servant and a much loved figure in not just Welsh football but around the British Isles.
Absolutely. It's a lovely tribute. An incredible football man.
And by the way, 1 minute and 38 seconds between those two goals, opposite ends of the field. So it's swinging one way and then the other, and here comes Igor Jesus, and Okonkwo has gone right back onto his goal line here as Nico Williams tries a shot. And he'll head back to the left-back position.
I'm going to be in the left-back union and say it was worth a go. It's clearly being where he is, he's desperate to try and score. But, I mean, it was a massive moment because, again, you talked about the bubble earlier. The bubble has burst again now. They're only one goal behind, and Forest have the momentum again. Now it's back to just one moment of brilliance, one mistake, one free kick or set piece.
It's amazing how it changes, isn't it? A couple of minutes ago when it was 3-1, suddenly they've got a lot to do and only 15 minutes to do it in. They've got the goal quickly, and now you think, well, 13 minutes plus added time, that's plenty of time for a chance or two. Yeah, probably feels that way for Wrexham. Here comes Callum Hudson-Odoi into Gibbs White, and Douglas Luiz gets his foot in there. He's held up though and loses out. Initially to Ben Sheaf. Here's Smith, who's got through so much work. Good running here by Windass. Covered by Morato. Good ball in, just out of reach. And the shot saved by Sells, the shot from Longman. Wouldn't that have been something had he found the bottom corner?
Well, Wrexham clearly feel they need a fourth to put this Forest side to bed, and I can't disagree with them. Really good play down the left-hand side, wonderful cross. George Dobson nearly getting on it. Longman has the shot, it's a decent save from Sells. It's a really open game, isn't it?
Plenty of room for Hudson-Odoi. How about that for a good pass and excellent control from Hutchinson, who then tries to tee himself up not once but twice, and a deflection carrying it behind for a corner.
Brilliant defending. Can't allow Hutchinson to come inside on his left foot. Open the goal up, gets bigger. And George Dobson does really, really well.
looking a little congested there. They're right in the goalkeeper's grill. O'Brien hooking it clear. Dobson chasing it in determined fashion against Savona. Here's Doyle. To craft a ball up to Smith, who's keeping Morato on his toes.
Yeah, he's worked so hard, isn't he, Sam Smith? Not an easy position that is when you're the lone striker and you're not having much of the ball, and when you do, you're not really given quality ball. I have to say, without him being brilliant, he's worked really hard, but Callum Doyle, the one who played that in the channels, I think he's been superb, I really do. From a defensive point of view, really helped out his side. I'm very impressed by him.
About to head into the last 10 minutes of the 90.
Time for another 3 goals.
I wouldn't put anything past these two sets of players in what remains of this match, and here come Wrexham again at a time when Forest need to get up to the other end of the field. They're backpedalling rapidly once more. Sheaf. The flick was intended for Windass. Igor Jesus has it into Hudson-Odoi. Nicely worked. Room for Nico Williams. Hudson-Odoi's up there with him. Jesus waits in the middle. Plenty back in red and white as well now. Collected by Amari Hutchinson. Better of Thomason. Hutchinson's delivery needs to be a good one. It's a bit long, but it might fall at the feet of Williams, who looks for an opportunity to shoot. Forced further and further wide. Too many red shirts to get it past. Savona blasts it in. All hands on deck for Wrexham here as Hutchinson sends it once more, and Jesus gets his head on it. He wants a corner, so does Douglas Luiz. Callum Doyle was there for Wrexham.
Well, what a nervy ending we've got. Just brilliant defending. Nico Williams very nearly getting the shot, and then Savona, great strike. Wrexham just can't get it away from their area. And the ball comes in. It's a great challenge from high in there, it really is.
What a cracking way to kick off third round weekend here in the F.A. Cup. So many more matches to look forward to over the weekend. I think we get a few more like this, there won't be too many complaints, and we will be royally entertained. One of the great weekends of the season. Cheaply given away by Nicolas Dominguez. It's Windass now. Worked out wide by Sheaf. Ben Sheaf collects, can't find an opening, and Douglas Luiz just bided his time, then found Gibbs White. The control was a bit hurried. O'Brien, and Dobson just moves it away from the traffic, away to the far side.
Yeah, look, Wrexham need to somehow try and find a way to get 3, 4, 5 passes going, just to calm the game down. This is exactly what they're trying to do right now. At the moment they sort of go a little bit too long.
In towards Smith, who's offside.
Yeah, look, it's not a bad ball, but Forest want to get that ball back, and if you're pinging it around and Forest are chasing when they're already tired, even if the subs are coming on, but the ones who have been playing for 83 minutes so far, just that half a yard off, make the ball do the work. It takes a lot of courage to do that, especially against a Premier League side who have put you under a lot of pressure. You're tired yourself, but can't afford to have this game open.
It's been terrific from Wrexham so far tonight, with us finding ourselves in the 84th minute. You would still think the probability is that Forest ought to be able to create at least one decent opportunity between now and the end of the game. But they've got to get up the other end of the pitch first. It's Windass applying the pressure to the far post, and Ben Sheaf Well, maybe if he'd left it to, I think it was O'Brien who was right behind him, that might have worked better with the trajectory of the ball.
But then O'Brien's got to shout, he's got to communicate, he's got to say leave it. You know, I don't believe he did that, because if he'd done that really loud, he'd be ducking, we'd be hearing it. So again, communication's so important. That could be a big moment in the tie still.
Opened up in the middle of the pitch here for Louise. Hutchinson against the substitute Thomason. Savona was not what his teammates were hoping he would come up with there.
You're right now in what you're saying. There's still plenty of time for that one chance. You know, maybe even more than one, but that one chance where the goal opens up, it's been created. Somebody from Wrexham's tired, an extra half a yard to get that shot in. Still twists and turns to come.
The home crowd are trying to roar their team over the line in this one, but they know they're far from home and hosed in this cup tie at this stage, with 5 minutes to go, plus added time. What drama still lies ahead in this third round tie? Will it be Wrexham's night? Will it be a famous third round victory for Wrexham? Once again, it might be. Windass has it here. He's done well, Windass. That was excellent play up against Morato. The crafted pass! And Smith claims that he was pushed. He certainly fell forward rather rapidly.
It's never been a pen. Don't blame him trying to claim it, but no one's going to give it.
Most importantly, in terms of the match, Paul Tierney is not about to give a penalty for that.
Absolutely.
Douglas Luiz into Williams. Forest just looking for that one moment of quality, or indeed that one lucky bounce inside the penalty area. They'll take anything at this late stage. George Dobson looking to bring it away and send it forward to O'Brien up against his former teammates. He'll get a free kick there. That was a daft thing to do by Hutchinson, wasn't it? To concede a free kick in that area of the pitch in that moment.
It's ridiculous. Again, it's a winger's tackle. We saw it with Callum Hudson-Odoi when actually Wrexham got the third goal off the back of that free kick. You know, just don't make tackles like that. You can see here, Savano's just literally got a crossing. Defenders do that all day long. Where's that foul? You're looking at me. I made a career out of challenges like that.
Interception there by Hutchinson. Dominguez to Gibbs-White, lost out to O'Brien. They've got the bit between their teeth here. Wrexham. Windass fouled by Douglas Luiz, who gets a yellow card. He's been frustrated in both halves of this match. Thought he'd scored in the first half.
Yeah.
Gets a yellow card from the referee, Douglas Luiz, and now being taken off by his manager. Taiwo Awoniyi is going to come on, another forward. They've got to throw the lot at Wrexham here. We haven't seen too much of Awoniyi this season, just the one start in the Premier League, which lasted 45 minutes in the match against Chelsea, was in the autumn. Anyway, he's got about 2.5 minutes to try and make an impact. Change coming for the home side as well, late on, as Wrexham just look to cling on to the lead that they have. Ben Sheep is coming off and James McLean is coming on. Plenty of experience there.
Yeah, absolutely, and he'll be using every inch of that experience as well. And we talked about the substitutions of Nottingham Forest have done really well. I just want to mention Josh Windass. I think he's been brilliant since he's come on. You know, he's attacked really well, he's held the ball up really well, he's laid it off or kept it, or got that foul just at the right time.
You shouldn't forget as well that with the rise of Wrexham, the much talked about rise of Wrexham from the outside the Football League back into the league and up through the Championship and all the Hollywood stuff and the rest of it. This is the first real game against a Premier League side that they've had, and whatever happens in the next few minutes, they've done impressively well in this match.
They have. I think there's whatever happens, that they've more than matched a Premier League side. They can take a lot of positives from it, but why not take even more and get a win as well?
before they get back to the bread and butter, as they say, of the Championship. Week tomorrow, they're playing Norwich City, but Forest on the attack here. Hudson-Odoi equalises. There was the one chance. And Hudson-Odoi has the quality to take advantage. The door left ajar, no more than that. And Callum Hudson-Odoi has come off the bench to score twice in this FA Cup tie. And suddenly it's gone quiet around 3/4 of the racecourse.
It's gone very quiet. I said we'd be in for a long night. Didn't quite believe it at half-time, but boy, have the substitutions made a difference. This is absolutely delightful ball. It's a wonderful first touch and a fantastic finish. It is just an absolutely brilliant goal. It's a Premier League goal. The ball, the touch, and then I can't begin to underestimate how good a touch that was in the finish. He side-footed it over a concrete.
It was a brilliant goal.
Brilliant
You've got to hand
goal.
it to him as Longmore sent it in. Oh, there was a chance for 4-3. There was the game right there for Josh Windass on his birthday.
This game is just ridiculous. I mean, what a ball from Longman. Just dive at it. What's he doing, Josh Windass? Perhaps he feels he can't get there with his head, but I'm old enough to remember Keith Houchin's header in 1987 for Coventry against Spurs. Just do something like that. What a moment that would have been, but this could still be.
Yeah, we've got about another 4.5 minutes of this now as Wrexham apply the pressure, and O'Brien, I think, was the player getting up to it and gets a deflection as well from his header, so it will be another corner here for Wrexham. Well, it's as hard to pick a winner out of this game as it was at the kick-off. And we may need another half an hour at least. Who knows? Matt Sells gets his fist to it. He's going to stay on the ground, so that'll bring the game to a halt. He'll get a free kick.
I just wonder the mentality now of both sides. It's almost like Forest have done the hard work, 3-3. Do they kind of just say, OK, well, let's get to extra time? And
it's worth another look, this.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, the chest, it's coming over his shoulder. And look the way he's chested it there. It's absolutely perfect because he's still going forward, but so is the ball. And then the finish, he's not really lashed at it. It's been a side foot. He's passed it into the back of the net, giving Okonkwo no chance whatsoever. It wasn't just about pace, it was about precision. It's just a brilliant, brilliant goal.
So 15 minutes to go. It was 3-1 to Wrexham, and here we are. He looks the same as he did when they were 3-1 up.
I'm just thinking, as he was walking across in the second half, 2-0 up.
They'll be frustrated if they don't go on to win, given the position that they put themselves in, though, as Dawson tries to shot. He's always just spinning away from the goal. It's almost like he can hardly bear to look, isn't it? He keeps peering out from behind the door frame.
Do you know what I think that is? I think that's exactly what he's feeling. And you know, there's real genuine love for this club and the area, and absolutely got the football bug. And I think that is. He's just like, I can't bear this.
Well, the FA Cup certainly delivered an excellent 90 minutes for us so far, and looks like it might give us the bonus of an extra half an hour. As these two teams continue to go toe-to-toe. Williams wins it back for Forest. Surely they're not going to go and win it now. In added time at the end of the game. A little knockdown, and Igor Jesus tries to turn, but George Thomason brings it away. Clearance is long up to Smith. He's done well there, but it's just beaten the run by O'Brien on the far side. Is there time for one last opportunity at either end? Scar wins it in the air. A header down by Longman. Here comes Thomason. Now it's with Ryan Longman. If it's going to happen for Wrexham before extra time, it needs to probably happen now, and it's cleared away by Jay Cunha. Back with George Dobson. Finishing it positively here, the Championship side. Windass sends it away to McLean. Savona solid in the challenge. Wrexham's ball though. O'Brien. Need to get the ball in the penalty area sooner rather than later here. Almost had our 5 minutes, the minimum of, and that pass was just a little short, but it's fallen kindly. Dobson has it into Windass. Little deflection, just carries it away. As Smith was trying to get on the end of it inside the 6-yard box. What a cup tie we've seen so far, and how much more there is still to come this evening. Callum Hudson-Odoi with 2 goals, the second of which was absolutely outstanding from the very top draw in any match. It was worthy of his team getting something out of the game. The goal was that good to equalise in the 90th minute. Twice Wrexham of the Championship led by 2 goals, 2-0 and 3-1. They were 3-1 up with 15 minutes to go, but they've been pegged back by Callum Hudson-Odoi, and it is Wrexham 3, Nottingham Forest 3, extra time coming up. Well, this is an FA Cup tie that has just kept on giving so far this evening. And Wrexham made the breakthrough in the first half. Mari Hutchinson dispossessed and swept home by Kakache for Wrexham. 1-0 in the 37th minute.
Yeah, and it's the first time they really pressed, got the ball in the box and then tried to win the knockdowns or pressed Nottingham Forest. It's a really good finish, slight deflection, yes, but well deserved.
And back again, this time it was Igor Jesus who lost the ball. And Wrexham very much on the front foot at this stage. Nathan Broadhead key, Rathbone collects, Rathbone finished the job. 2-0, 2 quick goals, 5 minutes before half-time. Forest in a bit of a hole. Yeah,
2 goals in less than 100 seconds, and I still think Sells could have done better there, but 2-0, you're thinking, well done, Wrexham.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest made 3 changes at half-time, and they came right back into it in the second half. Igor Jesus here brought them back into the game. The ball had crossed the line before it was cleared away.
Yeah, it was coming, wasn't it? How well Forest had done in the second half with the substitutions. It's a great ball to the far post. Look how much he wants it here, jumping, getting above his defender. Didn't happen very often. Definitely over the line.
So Forest given a bit of a lifeline there by that header. But what about this for a free kick and a finish? George Dobson right on the money with that delivery, and Dominic Hyam with the header.
Absolutely sensational ball. Not many people can strike a dead ball like that, and then it's like, who wants it? Dominic Hyam stuck his hand up and said, I do, thank you.
So Mari Hutchinson sending it in here to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who'd come off the bench during the second half.
And this goal was crucial because it was almost immediately after 3-1. So suddenly Wrexham now back on the back foot again.
Yeah, spot on, 1 minute and 38 between them. This is the best goal of the game. Best goal you'll see this weekend probably from Callum Hudson-Odoi in the 90th minute. 3-3 after the 90 minutes. The change being made by Wrexham at the start of extra time. Ryan Bennett is coming on for Ryan Longman, so it's a like-for-like change. Ryan Bennett is a right back. This is his first appearance in the last 6 matches. Fresh legs and all that. So Ryan Barnett on.
Yeah, to be fair, Ryan Longman, I thought he played really, really well, but was probably Phil Parkinson's looking around, right, do I need to make a substitution? That wing-back role, trust me, took years off my career.
You think he was running on fumes a bit longer?
I think so.
Let's wait for the signal from referee Paul Tierney. Nottingham Forest will get the first period of extra time underway. Remember, of course, if we can't separate the teams in the next half an hour, we will have penalty kicks. We will have a winner tonight. And away we go. 3-3. It's been a terrific FA Cup tie so far. Wrexham, though, I certainly think will be feeling a little bit deflated that they didn't get over the line. They need to psychologically try and reset and move on from that.
Yes, they do. They need to go again, and I think that whatever Phil Parkinson said would be really important, because it looked like for all the world they were going to go on and win this game, and suddenly in almost the last minute, and as you mentioned, twice they were 2 goals ahead. To be pulled back to 3-3 and in the last few minutes, there's no doubt about it, psychologically that the momentum is with Nottingham Forest.
Here's Savona. Touching field by Hutchinson. Gibbs White returns the ball. Comes Nico Williams into Igor Jesus. Here's Hudson-Odoi, who drew his team level. Savona, the Italian fullback. Hutchinson. Whipped in by Dominguez. There was a chance there for a 1-0.
I just wonder from both teams, really. They've given it their absolute all in those 90 minutes, and it's a question of like who can go again. I talked about the momentum is with Forest. And I do kind of think now, if there's going to be a winner within extra time, it will come from Forest. Wrexham somehow need to find a way, and it might be that they're on the back foot for the next 30 minutes, because talk about the substitutions Forest made. You know, this is a really strong side they've got out now. And because they've got back into the game and it's kind of level, you would expect them to go on. So Wrexham just need to be really defensively sound, and if they can counter, be clinical.
Hudson-Odoi into Gibbs White. Thought about having a crack, I think, there for a moment. And Hutchinson is Nicolo Savona. Gibbs White, a looping ball that just hung in the air for an age. And Igor Jesus has been penalised by referee Tierney. Busy week for Forest. It was only on Tuesday night. They were playing West Ham. They were at Villa last Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, for Phil Parkinson is a little bit different in terms of, you know, they haven't played for the week, and they've got a few more days as well before they play for the next one. But it's the last thing that both of these managers would have wanted, really. They would have wanted it within 90 minutes. I'm not saying whichever way, you don't take the loss, but don't need extra time after what has been a really busy Christmas period.
Towards Awoniyi, wins it in the air. Run by Jack Cunha. Hutchinson. Plenty of space for Williams for Nottingham Forest. Hudson-Odoi. Faced by Ryan Barnett, who's just come off the bench. This is Nicolas Dominguez, dangerously whipping that one in, but a little out of reach for Igor Jesus, but comfortably within the grasp of Arthur Okonkwo.
That's my idea, a bit close to the keeper there. Just go towards the far post, and if it's missed, if someone can get across a Conqueror, even if they don't get the touch in the ball. And he's in the back of the net because he's gone towards the far post.
Savona sending it in. Igor Jesus feeding it on to Hudson-Odoi. Big block by Barnett. Back out to Dominguez. Forest on top of the first part of extra time. Didn't quite land on the head of Igor Jesus. Putting real pressure on there. Callum Doyle has had an excellent game tonight. Able to get his head on that one. Just ahead of the Brazilian. Good job he did from Wrexham's point of view.
I think he's been superb. Absolutely superb in his defending.
Hutchinson's ball in. Okonkwo with the punch away. Nico Williams, big block there made by Hyam. Wrexham struggling to get out. Struggling to hang on to the ball when they do. It's all Forest at the moment. In the opening 5 minutes of extra time. O'Brien. And again it breaks down for Wrexham. They've not started extra time confidently. Gibbs-White. Callum Hudson-Odoi. Forest camped in and around the Wrexham penalty area. Patiently waiting to pounce. Savona's ball in, not a great one. But neither was the clearance. Gibbs-White. And Hutchinson's ball just a little too long and disappearing out over on the far side. Murillo is going to come on to presumably help to shore things up. So Savona is going to go off, Nikola Savona, the right back, and Murillo, who normally of course plays alongside Nikola Milenkovic in the heart of the defence, is going to come on now. So the longer the game goes on, the stronger Nottingham Forest seem to be more and more in terms of the players they're bringing on.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to say, I think it was the right idea from Hutchinson to try and take on his fullback. The touch before the cross was just, it wasn't direct enough, it wasn't forward, it was a little bit almost to the side of him, and therefore he couldn't wrap his right foot around it, but it was the right idea. But yeah, you're absolutely right, in these 7 minutes it's been all Forest, not necessarily in terms of clear-cut chances, but definitely in terms of the way they're controlling the game. You know, when the Wrexham players have been working so hard for the 90 minutes plus, the way that Forest are moving the ball around is difficult for Wrexham to try and keep concentrated.
Yeah, they need to try and get a little bit of momentum back, don't they, Wrexham, which they're struggling to do at the moment. Gibbs-White into Hutchinson. Again, it's just a little bit too long.
It's that final ball, isn't it, at the moment? You may be saying, where are you? Well, that's an overhit ball. And he wasn't as if he was really under lots of pressure. So that quality ball has to come in. It's all very well Forest having the ball and make, look, you can see.
Well, I'm not surprised he might be cramping up a little bit.
Not
the amount
surprised.
of work that he's got through tonight. Well, plenty of experience there. Jay Rodriguez, he's 36 now. He's been injured for most of the season, actually, Jay Rodriguez, but he's made brief substitute appearances in the last 4 games before today, but just over 250 appearances in the Premier League in his career. He's had a very good career, signing from Burnley last summer. It was just a challenge too far there for Sam Smith.
Yeah, he's worked so hard. Did he get a kick, or was he just cramping up? But as you say, despite the age, he's got great experience, and he can certainly help Wrexham in the next 21, 22 minutes. Sort of wonder whether what Wrexham are going to do in January, but they've got a really deep squad. Might have to get rid of a few players first, and he might well be one of them, but if he can certainly make an impact here, maybe even score the winner, then moment that would be in a Wrexham shirt.
Well, the efforts of Sam Smith there appreciated by the crowd. But his race is run tonight, and Jay Rodriguez does come on to replace him. Rodriguez, who signed from Burnley last January, so 12 months he's been with the club. Cleared away by Cunha. Doyle with the throw, but again Forest get hold of the ball. It was a bit wild there from Cunha.
I'm not surprised to see that possession, 82% in extra time. It has been Forest, and Wrexham need to find a way just to get a few passes going, or even just territorially get the ball, keep the ball in Forest half like they are here.
Chance to venture forward. First touch from Jay Rodriguez gives the ball away. It's collected here by Dobson once more. Just tries to move it away from the more congested areas. An opportunity to put some pressure on, and it doesn't quite reach Josh Windass in the middle. It's excellent from Barnett, and he's won a corner. It's been quiet the opening 11 minutes of extra time from Wrexham's point of view, but now they get onto the front foot at last again. James McLean will take it. It's a decent looking delivery, and the header just wide, and it was Dan Scarr getting up so well.
Nearly. Great ball. He's just kind of leaning back a little bit, isn't he? So therefore he's not quite able to generate, first of all, the power and therefore the precision.
Thought he was going to find the back of the net there. A story that would have been 9 years after he last scored in the third round of the FA Cup for Stourbridge against Wycombe. Would have been a big stage for him to make his mark and put Wrexham 4-3 up. Hyam with the first header. Barnett with the second. O'Brien challenging, and Jesus outmanoeuvred. Wrexham lose their way again. They're not keeping hold of the ball as well as they did in the 90 minutes. Some tired legs out there. Here's Williams now for Nottingham Forest. Sturdy header away from Callum Doyle. Hyam's clearance up towards O'Brien, who's being closely marked by Murillo. They sort of changed their shape a bit, haven't they, Forest? And Williams has come across to the near side.
Yeah, it's still four at the back. Murillo's gone as the left back, and Nico Williams, yeah, you know, he can play on either side. He's that good.
That's excellent from Murillo. Super play and a wonderful pass forward. Awoniyi keeps it alive. Now it's with Callum Hudson-Odoi. Looks to tee it up. Remember, he's on a hat-trick. I wonder who's having a good old look, see if he could get a shot in. And Williams brings a save from Okonkwo. Nottingham Forest have a corner.
Well, both those players want the winner, don't they? Callum Hudson-Odoi for the hat-trick, and Nico Williams because he knows this place very well indeed. It's a good shot, just a little bit straight at Okonkwo. Decent save. Yeah, you just get the feeling now, Wrexham, it's not as if they're playing for penalties, but they haven't got much left. Really important for the likes of Jay Rodriguez to, if he does get the ball, if he can't hold it up for long, but at least win a foul and just kill a little bit of time. It's all Forest, really.
And it comes once more towards the near post. It doesn't fall at the feet of Amari Hutchinson, but Forest still have it. the dominant side in extra time, and this is a match in which Wrexham twice led by 2 goals, 2-0 and 3-1. But extra time has had a different feel about it so far. Forest buoyed and boosted by that 90th minute equaliser from Hudson-Odoi. Rodriguez will chase after it. It's McLean who played it forward. This is Morato going long, straight down the throat of the defence towards Taiwo Awoniyi. And the first time that Callum Doyle has looked a bit tired tonight there with that clearance.
Well, I'm tired just watching. I don't know how he's feeling. First slight mistake, and then almost a foul throw.
Last few seconds of the first period of extra time. No sign so far of either side getting a 4th goal, really, for all the pressure that Forest have had. But again, Wrexham give it away. And for them, this match is getting tougher and tougher, and Callum Hudson-Odoi now goes for goal once more. He's determined to get that hat-trick.
This isn't he? Can't really be shooting from there. You're going away from goal, you're what, 20 yards out on your left foot. It's going to be some strike to beat a Conqueror from there. And a bit of a waste, given there's only seconds literally towards half-time. And you're right, as much as Forest have had the possession, haven't really tested a Conqueror in the way that Sean Dyche would have wanted his side to. And we say there's still plenty of time. There's another 15 minutes to go. I think Wrexham would be happy just how the last sort of 5 minutes have gone, really.
Yeah, there is plenty of time. 15 minutes was more than enough time for Forest in the 90. And that's exactly what we've got left here. We're 15 minutes away from penalty kicks at the racecourse ground in Wrexham. The Championship side pegged back by Nottingham Forest right at the end of the 90. And it is Nottingham Forest making most of the running so far, but without reward in extra time. It's half-time in extra time, and it is still Wrexham 3, Nottingham Forest 3. So, words of wisdom here from Phil Parkinson.
Everybody so for the fucking goal. 1 and 2 touch, just stretching. Come on, we can do fucking. Come on, lads, come on.
Rousing the troops.
Yeah, absolutely. Just heard him say 1 and 2 touch and basically let the ball do the work, because we know how tired you are, how hard you've worked against this Premier League side. Brilliant. Brilliant for 90 minutes, brilliant for those 15 minutes, almost very much on the back foot. Talked about how with Forest getting that equaliser late on and the big guns on the pitch as well. You know, they're very much on the front foot, but despite them not really creating anything and not having too many touches really, too many passes, you know, they've kept that clean sheet in the first half of extra time as well. So yeah, let the ball do the work, 1-2 touch, but try and keep the ball if you can.
It's been a great effort from Wrexham tonight, one which almost got them over the line and into the hat for the 4th round. And who knows, they may still make it. But these two teams are going to do it the hard way, but via extra time at least. Remember, no replays, we will have a winner tonight. Penalties 15 minutes away, unless someone can find a winning goal. But Wrexham, they just need to find a little bit of momentum from somewhere and get back into this game, because they were hanging on in the sense that they were surviving rather than putting any pressure on. But here's a chance for Windass, who's been denied by Matt Sells. But they certainly were in survival mode more than anything for much of that first period of extra time.
I think that's a great way of putting it, I really do. And in the game now where, you know, a lot of the players are out on their feet and just letting their minds try and take over, not allowing defeat or any way to give up. There's not going to be many chances. That was a wonderful opportunity for Wrexham.
There's Amari Hutchinson now with a chance to have a little run at Callum Doyle and pick out Hudson-Odoi. Here's Igor Jesus back into Murillo. Hudson-Odoi, Hutchinson. It's Hudson-Odoi once more. Hutchinson forced away, and George Dobson concedes another free kick within range. He's done that several times tonight.
I've seen him do it. I mean, he's an excellent player, really. I mean, he's the one who put the pass in there. He put defenders under pressure. Morato, poor touch. And can he do it? Can he move his body? He's just come off his knee there, wasn't it? That quite meaning to. Sells out quickly and just outstretched. Windass has done well since he's come on, but yeah, George Dobson, don't nibble, don't. Giving the opposition a wonderful opportunity here.
He might be busy in a moment.
I bet he's secretly hoping it does go to penalties, then he can be the hero. He might have to save this one though first.
Yeah, I wonder how goalkeepers do view the prospect of penalty. I think, well, this is going to be, could be my moment. You'll need to try and save this first, though, potentially. Murray Hutchinson's there. Murillo loitering with a determined look on his face. If he hits it, you'd know about it if you get in the way. Murillo blasts it, and I think it's still going.
Well, you're absolutely right. He's got a wonderful strike. You can see him just scuffing the ground. He didn't connect properly at all.
Someone in the crowd copped it.
Oh, goodness me, I wouldn't want that to be me.
There's a lot of nervous chatter around the stadium at the moment here. People wondering what's going to happen in the next few minutes.
They've got their money's worth this evening, haven't they?
Yeah, and then some. Far from done here as Hudson-Odoi sends it forward, but Wrexham have it back. Ball into O'Brien. Decent ball as well, nicely done. Lewis O'Brien away to the far side. Windass waits in the middle. Thomason's up there as well. It's an easy clearance, I think, for Murillo, who got a little bit lucky, but Forest have it and survived that little flurry of activity. Dominguez finding Gibbs White with space and time in possession. That's not good news for Wrexham. What a lovely pass that is as well into Hudson-Odoi. We have seen some moments of real quality from Forest, and Hudson-Odoi floats that one in. Back out to Gibbs White. Mari Hutchinson. And Callum Doyle again in the right place at the right time. Wrexham really needed that. Pressure starting to build once more. Nico Williams, and it's Hudson-Odoi. What a thorn he is in their side tonight since he came in. Up to Taiwo Awoniyi. Dominguez, challenged by Thomason, who wasn't quite sure where the ball was. It looked as if he lost his bearings for a moment there. The referee's given a free kick. Oh, we've got a problem with the ball, I think.
Even the ball can't take it anymore. It's tired.
The ball's had enough.
It needs a rest. Substitution for the ball.
I think Murillo punctured it with that free kick.
No, that's still going around orbit at the moment.
But such is the ferocity of the challenges that we need a new ball.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson, it didn't look like he didn't know where he was.
Mari Hutchinson. Well, that must have looked inviting from his perspective.
Well, you come inside on your left foot, goal's opened up. You know that maybe the next goal's the winner. Got to hit the target.
Ten minutes to go. Jay Rodriguez on, and Windass was offside. Hudson-Odoi for Nottingham Forest, who've just hung in there in this game. They've had to dig into their reserves, so credit to Nottingham Forest for coming back. And this is excellent play for, well, for a moment it was excellent play from Murray Hutchinson. He just ran out of room. Out of road.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that extra heavy touch, but, you know, he knows he's got James McLean. If there's a one-on-one situation, he can take him on and get past him every time. have to just mention the cross from McLean a little bit earlier, a few minutes ago. It was a wonderful ball in, and someone at the far post has got a gamble there. But from a defensive point of view, even though he's been a sub, so he's not tired in that respect, he hasn't got the legs to tackle in a one-on-one situation against Hutchinson, and Hutchinson knows that.
Windass, who, as you say, Scott's played impressively since he came on. He did really well there again. Under pressure in the corner. Putting his team on the front foot here, Josh Windass. Forest feeling the ball had gone out of play on the near side.
Yeah, I don't believe the whole of the ball went out.
Now it's Wrexham's turn to get on the front foot. They just need somebody to get on the end of this. So Morato in the book. And it comes beyond the far post. And George Dawson, in the end, inadvertently shoveling the ball behind for a goal kick.
I can tell you now, Simon, from personal experience, penalties are going through their mind right now. You know, no one wants to make that mistake where you end up losing the game, but sometimes that can mean that both teams withdraw. I don't think that's the case here, but it's definitely going through the mind.
Here's Amari Hutchinson. And back with Williams. Dominguez. Hudson-Odoi. Into Taiwo Awoniyi, and Gibbs White lets fly. Goodness me, he absolutely leathered that. Murillo going long, trying to find Awoniyi. Jay Rodriguez with a touch, and Dobson with a nicely flighted pass into Lewis O'Brien. Can Wrexham do something with this? And it just goes in behind Josh Windass. They just need one of those to come off and to fall kindly.
Yeah, I mean, it was good defending from Forest. What he needed, the ball to go into Windass.
It comes once more. Stooping header from McLean.
He needed the ball to go into Windass, who could then lay it off for Jay Rodriguez, who would have been able to strike it first time, but it was played just behind him. But I mean, we touched on it just before the equaliser, didn't we? And we said that whatever happens in this game, Wrexham can take so many positives and be proud of their performance, and the fans can be as well. And there's still glory here, whether it's in extra time or penalties.
Yeah, it's been a terrific third round tie, and Wrexham have given a really good account of themselves tonight. And of course, who knows, they might go on to win it still. Here's Dominguez for Forest, last season's semi-finalists. Hudson-Odoi. That's a decent-looking cross. Queuing up there at the far post. Cleared away by Rodriguez, who was calm under pressure. Trying to find Windass. And how to play off O'Brien, the former Forest player. That's a great touch by Hudson-Odoi there, to keep the ball in play and keep the attacking possession alive. Away to Williams and Morgan Gibbs-White. Amari Hutchinson wants it. Needs to be a good delivery. And Okonkwo, a little bit stressed there. Nicholas Dominguez, Murillo. Awoniyi getting the shot away, but the block is made. It was Thomason. Nottingham Forest applying some pressure here as we go into the final 5 minutes of extra time. Penalties are starting to loom. O'Brien away. Straight to Nicholas Dominguez. Callum Hudson-Odoi looking for a better angle. Igor Jesus. Okonkwo down sharply to his right.
It's a good save. Look at Hudson-Odoi, he's running in. If that somehow had been parried out, he was ready to come in and try and pounce on that. And, Yeah, just not able to quite keep the ball, are they, at the moment? They're absolutely out on their feet. It's been an unbelievable performance, it really has, and Sean Dyche has brought on the big boys.
He's had to.
Yeah, it's a massive compliment to Wrexham.
And Wrexham have it with Callum Doyle. Hasn't reached Jay Rodriguez. That's good play by Dobson. And the pass astray. They're lucky to have it back, actually. Doyle back into Hyam, who scored the third goal for Wrexham. They're 3-1 up at that moment. They must have thought they were going to go on and win the match. Dobson, excellent pass from him once more. Here he is, he's looking pretty tired, no surprise there. Rodriguez tries to turn away from Cunha.
There's 3 occasions in a short space of time where George Dobson has received the ball, and he's done so much running this evening. He's happy to receive it, and he's done a brilliant turn away from a Forest player to try and keep the ball. Really good play from the central midfielder. We're talking about Wrexham trying to wrestle back the control of the game, and he's certainly trying to do that.
Dominic Hyam clattering into Igor Jesus. Well, Forest scored right at the end of the 90. Can they score towards the end of extra time as well, which would, of course, put them in the lead for the first time tonight in this tie. It's been quite an epic tussle between these two. Nico Williams. And it goes, and then it's shanked behind off Hyam. That could so easily have gone exactly where he didn't want it to.
Yeah, it's a great ball in. It really is. I mean, he could have let it go, but he didn't want to risk it. It's a tired challenge, but certainly didn't deserve that to hit the back of the net.
A couple of minutes away from penalties. As Forest go for a 4th goal. What a bundle that is. Wrexham should be able to get it away, but they haven't managed to. Hutchinson, the red wall in front of him there. You can't take your eyes off this. Right to the end of the game. Murillo for Nottingham Forest. Morgan Gibbs-White. Hutchinson. He needs to come up with a good delivery now, or indeed a decent shot, and it wasn't a bad one at all, and Okonkwo is relieved to get his gloves on the ball.
Yeah, it's a good save, but someone's got to go out and help James McLean. Look how far off he is. He's scared about his pace. He's able to go outside or inside, he's chosen, and no one's coming across enough to stop the shot.
Josh Windass is still trying to cause some problems. Jay Rodriguez, he's backed up by O'Brien, and now it's Windass! And he goes down under the tackle, and I think he's going to get a yellow card here from Paul Tierney.
Clearly Paul Tierney's thinking, yeah. Just wonder whether a first touch, and he would have been a better first touch, and he would have been in, but
he was nearly in. There's the player who scored an outstanding goal in the 90th minute of the match to force extra time and to potentially save the day for his team. So Windass in the book, card on his birthday. As Gibbs-White sent it to the near side. Hudson-Odoi too long this time. This one's going to go all the way, right to the wire. Twice Phil Parkinson's team led by 2 goals. They were 2-0 up at half-time. They were 3-1 up with 15 minutes to go. But Nottingham Forest kept picking themselves up off the canvas. Credit to them for that. And Callum Hudson-Odoi in the 90th minute of the game with an outstanding equaliser. Nobody could force the issue in extra time. It's going to come down to penalty kicks. It's finished after extra time. Wrexham 3, Nottingham Forest 3. And now attention's going to fall on, as much as anything, the 2 goalkeepers, Matt Sells and Arthur Okonkwo.
I'm not sure how much homework, I suppose, either management staff would have done on penalties. certainly from the Forest one on Wrexham, but Sean Dyche will be picking his 5. They've certainly got enough senior pros in there, quality, the strikes. I mean, don't you just love the FA Cup? I mean, isn't this what it's all about? You know, a big team going to a smaller team who might well soon be a big team, and looking like they're going to be out. You're right, they showed great resilience. They come back into it right in the last minute. Looked like perhaps they go on and win the game, but now we are a penalty shootout.
Yeah, Wrexham had to dig in, didn't they, to get through that 30 minutes there. And they've still got a good shot of getting the upset win. But Forest at 2-0 down and 3-1 down will be pleased to have worked their way back into the tie and still be in it. I mean, for a while tonight, with the scoreline as it was at various stages of the evening, Sean Dyche was looking at a very disappointing exit from the Cup, wasn't he? Looking it firmly in the face.
Absolutely, and well done for him for the substitutions he made. He didn't want to make them, but he quite simply had to, and the second half was completely different to the first. Hello, I remember taking 3 penalties in my career, all in penalty shootouts. I scored 2, keeper saved 1. The 2 that I scored, I put myself up for the top 5, so I felt confident, I felt I had a good game, and I wanted to take a penalty. I was number 6 in the one that hit the goal, hit the goalkeeper. Keeper went the right way.
Was that because you didn't fancy it, or they didn't fancy you that
day? No, it was. I probably didn't fancy it. You know, I hit the target, but it wasn't the best of penalties, whereas the other 2 were in the corner. So again, my point is, technique is really, really important. I'm very much into practicing penalties if you possibly can, especially before a game like this. But at the same time, the mentality of it.
You can't replicate that moment, though, can you, even in training?
You can't, but I always also say, like, you know, for example, Johnny Wilkinson, you know, the hours and hours and hours he spent just practicing his technique, so that you can't replicate what's about to happen now. But what you can do is just try and rely on your technique. And that's what these players will be doing. So in that sense, you would expect Forest to possibly go through. Doesn't always work like that, of course, and also whoever goes first has got the advantage.
And from your own experience within a team, when it goes to penalties, is it usually easy to have 5 who want to do it, or sometimes is the manager having to sort of force the issue?
The last one I scored was a year after the one that I missed, and I think then Rhoda was the manager, and he looked at me as if like, anyone else? And I said, no, I'm all right, don't worry. And I scored.
So Josh Windass to take first. Can Wrexham get one on the board to begin to apply the pressure in this penalty shootout? It's Windass for 1-0. Good start for the Championship side.
Yeah. And it's almost the perfect pen. Obviously, if the keeper stands still, then it's an easy catch, and people are saying, what are you doing going down the middle? But it takes a lot for a goalkeeper to stand still. We have seen it, of course.
Well, he scored a penalty the other day, didn't he, Morgan Gibbs-White, under pressure at West Ham to win the match for Nottingham Forest. This one to draw them level early in the penalty shootout. Morgan Gibbs-White. He's their penalty taker now and in general. And that was very well taken indeed for 1-1.
It's a good
no
pen.
Messing about.
Yeah, it's a really good pen because he took one so recently. He's going through his mind, do I do the same, do something different? Does the goalkeeper know what I did? I'm sure he did. So he's put it kind of the other way. It's a really good pen.
The crowd were trying to put him off, of course, behind the goal, waving the silver foil FA Cups in his face. James McLean up for this one now for Wrexham. Very experienced player, of course. Former Republic of Ireland international. And And he's missed by a mile. First penalty miss of the night. James McLean for Wrexham. Nottingham Forest with the opportunity to go ahead here with their second penalty.
He's gone for the real high tariff one, hasn't he? Where if it's on target, no keeper's stopping that, but they're going for postage stamp right in the top corner. He needs to be precise. They need Okonkwo to do something special here.
So Igor Jesus to put Forest 2-1 up. It was Igor Jesus who brought it back to 2-1 during the second half. And the Brazilian now. And it's saved by Okonkwo. Sharp save from the Wrexham goalkeeper. Both teams miss their second kick.
Well, we needed a Okonkwo, or Wrexham did, to do something special, and he certainly has. It's not the worst penalties. I'll tell you what, if he goes the right way, then perhaps you do need to stick it in the top corner, what McLean was thinking with his penalty.
He's perked up again.
Absolutely.
And it's Callum Doyle, who's had a really good game tonight. And that's a very fine penalty indeed. That is emphatically dispatched.
You know what, I know Callum Hudson-Odoi will probably get the man of the match because he's come on and made such a difference, but I think Callum Doyle is right up there. A brilliant performance. And look at that. You'd think he's done his work tonight, although you never know. The way this game is going, he might have to take another one.
Callum Hudson-Odoi, 2 goals for Forest to bring them level at 3-3, and beats the dive of the Wrexham goalkeeper. It's 2-2.
It's a good pen as well, isn't it? Okonkwo very tall. He's stretching out, it's got some wingspan, but Mickey Thomas, you can feel the nerves coming from everybody.
What a night though at the racecourse.
It's a classic night. Whatever happens here, it's a brilliant night for Wrexham and the fans as well. Can they just finish it on a high?
Just from George Thomason.
He's come off the bench, playing in midfield. He's done a decent job. And with that left foot that he's got, very, very trustworthy indeed. A little bit to the side, but with pace and power.
Still tight. And now Nico Williams, born in Wrexham, back in Wrexham, under pressure in Wrexham, to bring Forest level, and that's exactly what he does. He just whipped it underneath Okonkwo. 3-3.
He'll be relieved with that one. And it's gone under him. If that goes just half a yard up, he's saving it. By keeping it down, Okonkwo's gone over the ball.
It's Jay Rodriguez who's going to take this next one. So 3-3. This is the 5th penalty. Lovely penalty kick there from Jay Rodriguez. Calmness personified. All that experience over all of those years came in really handy there, and he absolutely used it.
Well, we're in sudden death, weren't we, as he was stepping up, despite him taking the 5th penalty. And that was a very, very important one indeed. I think Matt Sells perhaps felt that with the experience he's got, he had the confidence to go down the middle. Very, very clever
Amari
not to.
Hutchison has to score this.
He has to score.
This to keep Forest alive. If Okonkwo saves it, Wrexham are through. Here we go. Third round drama. Oh, and he's missed it! It's saved by Arthur Okonkwo to secure a famous victory at the racecourse. For the Red Dragons of Wrexham, the championship side have beaten last season's semi-finalists, Nottingham Forest. It was a long night, it was a memorable night. It's now a night of celebration in Wales for Wrexham, who go through to the fourth round of the FA Cup.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? We talked about the performance of that first half. Twice they've had a 2-goal lead, twice they were pegged back very much on the back foot in extra time, but glory was still there to be had. Was it going to be an outfield player scoring in extra time? No, it's gone to penalties. And I just felt quite often left-footers, if they're a little bit nervous or their default is to go that way. And Arthur Okonkwo has used every inch of his 6'6" frame. What a save, what a hero.
What a match, what a night. 6 goals in the 90 minutes, no more in extra time, and 4-3 on penalty kicks. Wrexham getting the better of Nottingham Forest after an epic Emirates FA Cup third round tie. Phil Parkinson and his team march on. Just.
Someone tell him they've just won the game. But that is what Phil Parkinson is all about. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. It's the reason why Wrexham Football Club, with all the razzmatazz that's around and the money that has been spent, more so generally in each division up until they've got into the championship, but he's been able to handle that pressure, stay humble, work hard, get the right characters in. And it shows exactly how he is there. He'll fist pump once he goes in and have a glass of champagne or a beer or whatever he does drink after a game, especially after a win. That was a very hard-earned win, and it's a brilliant scalp for him and the owners and Wrexham Football Club as well to have. They have just beaten a Premier League side, and they are very much still on the up.
First upset of the weekend then. Wrexham have beaten Nottingham Forest on penalties after extra time. Well, it was a match with quite a few highlights. This was nearly the first of them. Rathbone denied and Cunha got his head in the way.
Yeah, good defending. That's going in. Marcel's got no chance there.
Douglas Luiz looking to cause a few problems here. Whipping this one in. Okonkwo with a save. Didn't have too many to make in the first half. This was one of them, though.
Yeah, and it's exactly what he should be doing, Douglas Luiz, trying to whip it in as fast as possible. That's a good save from the keeper.
Wrexham have been neat and tidy for the opening half an hour. This is the first time the play really opened up for them, and Sam Smith there forward with a sighting of goal but dragging it wide.
Yeah, the moment they started really pressing Nottingham Forest and they won the ball and were able to create opportunities, just a little bit too wide. Sam Smith, good strike, difficult to beat Selson there.
Yeah, they found a way through though in the 37th minute of the match. It was only half cleared as Luiz sent it into Hutchinson, one back. Bit of hustle here, and then a fine finish. Liberato Cacace for Wrexham. Racecourse into rapture.
Absolutely. Again, we talk about the pressing. First of all, the ball into the box from Doyle. and they didn't allow Forest to get out. They won the ball back, and yes, slight deflection, and it did make a big difference, but that's what can happen when you do press these Premier League sides.
Well, soon it went from bad to worse for Nottingham Forest. Not long after conceding the first goal. He got out hustled here. Rathbone underneath Sells for 2-0.
Yeah, and again, it's about being positive. It's trying to win the ball back in those areas, getting a little bit lucky, but you make your own luck. Sells perhaps would be thinking he should be saving that, but deflection comes to him. Take advantage, and well, it was bang, wasn't it? 2-0 half-time.
Well, here in additional time at the end of the first half, you'd think Forest would have an opportunity, but giving the ball away, it was Zinchenko who gave it away, and suddenly Sam Smith with a golden opportunity to make it 3-0, and you're thinking if he scores there, it's game, set and match.
We didn't want him to score there. We knew what was about to come later. It might well have been too much for Forest to come back, but it was a wonderful opportunity, and I do think it would have been game over. Great first touch. Sells makes himself big.
Second half, Forest had made some changes. They were much more into the game, and Douglas Luiz with an excellent free kick denied by the Wrexham goalkeeper.
That's a great save. It's not quite in the top corner. More glory for him was to come later.
Collected here by Morgan Gibbs-White. Savona putting it across, and then the deflection there, the parried save. It could easily have gone. It was Dan and Doy who almost turned it home. It should have been a corner, wasn't given.
Well, he got a bit lucky there. Look at it, the leg was just stuck out.
It was a great save that he didn't know anything about. Wrexham still played their part. This is a lovely passage of play. Nathan Broadhead and Rathbone key to it. And Sells with the save.
That would have been a really good team goal in the way they worked the ball forward. He just gets half a yard down the outside. Poor defending, really, but Sells makes the save.
But Forest, you could sense that something was in the air, and there was a goal for them, and it was Igor Jesus in the air who got it, and the ball had just gone over the line before Doyle headed it away.
Yeah, I mean, it was coming. You know, Sean Dyche made 3 substitutions at half-time, and they all made a real difference. Actually got to the byline, think to the far post, look how much Igor Jesus wants that ball. It's definitely over the line.
So it was all Forest really at that stage of the game. The game looking as though it might go their way as they continue to apply pressure on the Wrexham goal. Right back in it at 2-1, but 10 minutes later, how about this for a delivery from George Dobson straight onto the head of Dominic Hyam.
Just a delicious cross. It really is. Screaming out for who's going to get on the end of me. And Dominic Hyam was the man who did, and at that point, possible offside, not quite sure, don't think so. No VAR anyway. Wonderful ball, I'll get on the end of that. And you're thinking, well, okay, well, can't see Forest coming back from that.
But then, 76 minutes. Forest still working diligently, trying to get back in the tie. Callum Hudson-Odoi, 3-2, and it was 1 minute and 38 seconds after the goal at the other end.
Absolutely crucial that Forest went down the other end and scored. And by getting it back to 3-2, then suddenly the whole of the Wrexham players and fans just dropped a bit. Body language changed, and Forest, well, they were on the front foot.
Wrexham still had their moments. It was a stretch. And the shot saved. It was Ryan Longman.
I said at the time, and I was absolutely right, he needed a 4th goal to kill this game off. Didn't quite get it.
How about this? Callum Hudson-Odoi. Excellence.
I mean, not only is that Premier League quality, that's Champions League quality, isn't it? It's a wonderful ball to him, but the chest, and look the way he chests it, so it's still going forward, and he's able just to pass it into the net. It's a wonderful touch.
And it went to penalty kicks. Jay Rodriguez here for Wrexham. Rodriguez scoring. That made it 4-3 from the opening 5. So Rodriguez with an excellent penalty, and Amari Hutchinson had to score to keep Forest in it, and he was denied by Arthur Okonkwo, who became the hero of the hour with the save. The racecourse into raptures. Wrexham into the 4th round of the FA Cup, and last season's semi-finalists out at the first hurdle. An epic tie finally decided by that save. Wrexham after... Well, of course, the most important stat usually is the one at the top, but this time it doesn't include the penalty kicks, of course. So 3-3, which led to the penalties. Nottingham Forest, 31 attempts on goal there, Scott, during the game.
That's incredible. I mean, we've had 48 in total and 17 on target. And I think it goes to show that the 3-3 pretty much sums it up. Yes, Forest had more possession, but Wrexham in that first half, especially in the last sort of 10-15 minutes of the first half, were clinical. It was just a wonderful game of...
Every blade of grass.
He certainly did. And that's what he does. I mean, sometimes he